Welcome back, guys. This is Arnaldo, aka Mad Dog, and this is The Real, episode 207 of GG's The Mouthful Podcast. Yes. That voice, of course, is Mr. David Santos, aka Dream Twister. What the F is up, sir?
Thank you. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. Somebody's sucking up my bandwidth. So right now you sound like you're coming through an AM radio, yeah. Or a CV. You know, it's dropping here and there, but I mean, we're taking precautions. Each of us are recording our own tracks to make sure that this podcast could go on, because nothing stops the signal, sir.
Nothing stops the
signal. I'm hoping that this doesn't break in the middle of whatever. I'm thinking that maybe Comcast no, we don't have Comcast. Maybe Bright House is not finagling with the internet. I realize it's Friday. It is possible. A lot of people are. It's Friday night. A lot of people are at home. They don't have anything to do. They're Netflix and chilling, and that might be having an effect on the quality of the performance of the internets. So
that may be the reason why, sir. It may actually be.
Yes.
Although I hope for the record you haven't hit some sort of unbeknownst data cap.
No.
They said, you've used too much bandwidth. You have now been throttled for the rest of the month.
I will not be surprised, because let me tell you, I ran that speed test before we started recording. I was getting less than a megabit per second, and I was like, shit, a megabyte. Sorry, less than a megabit. Oh no, wait, it's a mega. I should know this. Megabit is a megabit. Sorry, I was getting a megabyte basically, which is like a 1 unit of an actual 1 megabyte. So it was right now. I am a little concerned, but. Hold on, we're just gonna continue with the show.
We are. I see your lines moving. It sounds like you're recording. We tested it when we did it before, and it was working. So we leave this in the hands of the
maker.
The maker. Exactly. Missing, of course, this week for the moment is Mr. Chaos Reaper, aka Gilberto. He will be hopefully joining us a little later on in the show for the hot topic. But for now, it's just me and Mr. Dreamy. Thank you so much for tuning in.
No, so yes, sir. Affirming the fact that I'm here.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Nothing stops the signal. Carry on.
Nothing stops the signal. Exactly. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. If this is your first time listening, please go to goodgame.rocks and join the conversation there. It takes you right to our Facebook group. And, of course, please like, subscribe, and share the podcast with everyone. What we normally do, guys, is first we go into what we have been up to, move on into some various news items, and then finish with our hot topic of the week. This week's hot topic: enemies that almost ruin games. And maybe even a few that did ruin games. I mean, we're just going to lay it all out here.
They are our enemies, so of course they're going to ruin our game, because they don't like us. They'll do everything to defeat us, including ruining the game.
That is a very apt thing to consider. Is obviously their purpose is to not allow us to enjoy the game. It's literally they are our antagonists.
I'm telling you, fucking Psycho Mantis messing up my controller and disconnecting my video signal. I'm sorry, my Hideo signal, and not letting me complete Metal Gear Solid.
However, there are some that really, really just really grind some gears. And we won't mention anything in the moment, but there's a recent one, and yeah, it kind of made me think maybe this is a good topic because as I thought about it, suddenly the list grew, and I was like, "Yep, I hate all these fuckers.
Oh shit!
They're the worst."
I thought we were just gonna
So
talk
yeah,
about the one.
no, no, no. Oh, we will bring his podcast up, but no, no, there are more. So yeah, so tune in later on the show for that. So let us start with what we have been up to, Mister Chaos Reaper. Nope, wait,
Cannot
Mister
join us.
Dream Twister.
We're gonna edit his part over here, right? That's what we're
I
gonna
know,
do.
just
Okay.
put it in right at that moment.
There you go.
Mister
Actually,
Dream
we totally
Twister.
should. He likes to share what he has done,
Oh, no, definitely,
just
definitely.
like we all do. So why you want me to take over? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, sir. I mean, unless you want me to take over, it's up to you.
Okay, fine. I'll get myself out of the way. No, man. It has been. You know what? It has been a surprisingly, well, shouldn't say surprisingly. Obviously, there was a a big event that happened this week that cemented how good this this week is gonna be of gaming. But I was actually having fun even prior to that because uh, last weekend I was able to finally beat Doom Eternal. Finally put it to
Ooh,
rest. I beat it on
nice.
that nightmare difficulty.
Nope.
I stuck to my
Ultra
guns.
violence.
Ultra violence. Fuck, fuck, fuck. Yes, ultra violence, not
I
nightmare.
knew you were gonna
Ultra
say it too.
violence. I know. I can't with this Doom. And the thing is, I do like it. I do like the names, but fuck, it gets me confused. Anyway, ultra violence. I stuck to my guns. I was like, there were a lot of moments where I was like, okay, no, let me just tone it down, because because this is starting to get it's starting to drain take away the fun. It's starting to get
Hmm.
too annoying, too frustrating. But no, I plowed through, and at the end, that final battle was kind of fun, actually, to be
Taxing.
honest with you. Huh?
I don't know. I found it to be very. I was like, wow, this is just gonna go on forever, isn't it? This is just gonna be
It
the
makes
fight,
you
and it is an eternal struggle.
think.
Is what they were going for when
It
they
makes you
made up the name.
at first it'll make you think that, but once you discover what you need to do, which you discover quite fast, because the game literally spells it out to you.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
before
it does.
fighting them, I felt like before, especially with the final, big encounter, the final bosses, the game will make sure you understood what you needed to do. It's like, listen. We know you have been frustrated enough already getting to this part, so you're about to find a boss. But let me just give you some tips. Okay, this is exactly how you kill him. Okay, go. and then and then it
Pretty
still
much the
wasn't
game.
easy. Yes, yes, it still wasn't easy, but at least you knew what you needed to do, and you weren't just like fumbling around trying to figure out why the hell is he not blinking when I shoot him or whatever. So last I actually found the previews to what I would have thought was gonna be the actual last boss. I
Mhm,
found that battle a little bit more annoying because it took a little bit more finesse, I would say,
mhm,
but it wasn't. It wasn't difficult. It wasn't insurmountable. I think maybe I died maybe one or twice, and then I had an idea of what I needed to do because it not not spoiling anything, but at least you get the opportunity to recover health as you're fighting. It's not a it's you're not just attritioning there.
yeah.
So
Mhm,
so and then the when I was surprised when that was not the end. I was like, oh shit, okay, so there's more. But that's okay because I'm still having fun, even though that last level. Oh man, let me tell you how annoying that level was, and not necessarily for what I think you guys warned me about, or what I thought that it was gonna be. I thought you, I thought you guys warned me about some not puzzle elements, but some traversing elements that were going to
Hmm.
be very difficult and things like that. And perhaps they are, but because I was playing with keyboard and mouse, like I never felt like it never felt too overwhelming. I think I felt on the most difficult one. I was able to pass it on my second try, and my first try I died because it was one of those ledges that you hang on to and then that thing starts to fall. And I was trying to look for, okay, where should I go next? Where should I go next? Oh, I'm dead because I stayed too long to think about it.
Hmm.
So that part wasn't, thank goodness, a big of a problem. My problem was the friggin' encounters with the enemies that will go on forever, and then it will end you, or it will, like, the last monster will be that fucking, what is he called, Marauder.
The Marauder. Yeah.
The Marauder, which is pretty much the one of the most annoying uh, enemies of of recent gaming, I will say. Boy, he was stupid. I did not like the design of him. And what I mean by that is, like, I don't mind. I'm sorry, I don't mean the design. The design actually looks pretty cool. I don't like his his, his defense, and basically his defense. He is way too overpowered for, like, you try to shoot the fucking BFG and you can't do damage with the BFG. It's like, come on.
I know.
All the
Annoying,
enemies,
isn't it?
including the last one, takes damage from a BFG. You're gonna tell me that I can point blank a BFG to this guy and he doesn't die? Then he is the Slayer. He is the true motherfucker because obviously, if he can stop BFG, at point blank, then there's no sense. And then you find out what you have to do, which is even more annoying. You can't get too close because he'll do a ultra fast shotgun that you can't avoid anyway whatsoever because it's a hit scan, and it hits you anyway.
Yeah, it's like this perfect distance where you have to be between where he's
Yes,
not close enough where you shotgun, but not far enough where he's throwing the axe wave at you and shit.
yeah, or even worse, the fucking little wolf pet that he has that he throws at you, which is
Oh, those
even
are the
more
worst.
annoying. Yeah, that thing, like that shouldn't even be in the game, or it should be patched or something because they are not fun. And I don't mean, I don't want them eliminated because of course you have to have a little variety, and I'm okay with it. It's just, I'm saying it became, it wasn't fun, like destroying all these monsters and having a pretty good, yeah, a pretty nice battle with them, and then just be at the very end just toe to toe with that guy, and just because you stepped a little bit closer than you should have, you get killed. And
Hmm.
so it almost felt like, yes, it takes skill to beat him, but also is a little bit of luck. And I don't like when things are just left to luck, you know.
Hmm.
So I don't know. It was, I did not enjoy that fight, but the game is done. I still super duper loved it. I still think it is uh, right up there, game of the year for me, contender. It's definitely on my top five, maybe. Well, depends on what comes out next, but I would say it has secured its spot
It's up there.
in the top three. It's definitely up there. It's without a doubt, Doom Eternal is a must play shooter. You know, some will argue, me including actually, that Doom 2016 is it's better, and I will not deny that. I think I remember having a little bit more fun in the sense of I didn't have to worry about some things. But then again,
Hmm.
I played that game on normal. I never played it on hard, and for some reason I decided to go on this one on hard because I was like, well, I played Doom 2016. How much different this could be? Oh shit, a Marauder. So
Fuck that guy.
and fuck that guy, yeah. But I also like the it was it I can't say that I felt like it overstayed its welcome, but then again, that's just me. I am enjoying being in that world and exploring a lot and all that. So highly super omega highly recommend this game, no doubt.
Nice.
And then but then I finished it too early, and I know that I said I was gonna go play
Yeah,
this
I didn't
Untitled.
believe you anyway.
I,
So,
I figured you wouldn't, because trust me, I wanted to, and here I'm doing things to like get myself to, but I I sat down and I was like, oh man, I have Final Fantasy in my head. That's the thing. I'm too excited about Final Fantasy. Uh, so I need something that could definitely distract me. Even if I'm not going to be able to beat it. You know,
mhm.
because this game that I picked up, I was sure not gonna be able to beat it in a week. Or in a few days. But it was gonna keep
Not
me.
even close.
No, no, not at all, sir. But it was enough to keep my mind busy and entertained, and I was, very surprised at the level of, back in that I got into this game. So I am playing Persona 5 Royale, or Royal. Sorry, I knew that I was gonna
Royal.
mess it up. I, I made a
I mean,
I
I've
made
been
an
saying
effort not to
Royale. It
mess it
has
up.
an E at the end. I'm like,
Everything.
that's
No, it
Royale.
doesn't. You think it says,
It
but it
doesn't?
doesn't. No, it's Royal.
Oh,
We think that
Mendoza
it is.
effect.
Yeah, yeah. We think that it is, but no, it's Persona 5 Royal, and so I picked it up because, like I mentioned, even with all this. Oh, by the way, the Final Fantasy VII reviews, were out already, and of course they were great and all, and it was and I see a thing comparing different games, and man, Persona 5 Royal, for some reason right now, it is the highest scoring game this year.
Metacritic.
And
Mhm.
Metacritic, right? Metacritic.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, fuck it. I need to know. I need to know. Uh, and I have Persona 4, and I got far, and I don't know how close to the end I would have been, but I never picked it back up, and I have no. What I'm trying to say is I have no business wanting to go back to it, but yet I did, and I picked it up. I've been playing for I think I'm running on 20 hours now.
Okay.
Uh, I defeated the first dungeon, and man,
Kamoshida.
Kamoshida, yeah, 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 man, it definitely reminds you how incredibly strong that game starts. And thinking that it's said. I mean, I don't know about Royale, and I'm hoping that things get addressed with Royal, with Persona 5, with this new one. Fuck it. Um, but Persona 5 originally started very strong, and then as the next dungeon will come in, like the the interesting things, the interesting subjects were less and less, I guess,
Interesting.
interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you start that game, and of course, immediately it slaps you with like a very adult, very adult uh, not content, but situations.
Themes, yeah.
It was, yeah, very, very adult themes. Here's this. There are themes of sexual harassment, themes of exploitation of students, of sexual abuse of students, of parents and teachers like looking the other way because this person that they're alleging is committing this hideous acts. Um, it's like a very powerful person, in this school and whatever. So it starts off, from the get go, like, really want to fucking hate this character, you really want to defeat this guy, and of course you're meeting, you're going through the cities, and the city, they have opened up new areas. Of course, this version has expanded in a lot of things. Although I haven't played, if I say I played 20 hours, you will think that I've played enough to start giving you an idea of, of recommending it if you have already played, Persona. I wouldn't be ready. I would say that I'm not ready for it just yet because it seems like there are even new stuff. They introduce new characters, and but so far it's too early. It's too early in the game still at 20 hours, mind you. But it's 20 fun hours. It's not like other games where, it's just starting to get good. No, the game's fun from the beginning. So the rest, we're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to put it aside for a little bit, because today I was finally able to play Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is officially released. It came out. In case you didn't know.
In case you're under a rock, literally
Okay.
as we speak, even though you're listening to this podcast, for
Yeah.
some reason you're disconnected to all other news.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is this is the weirdest feeling. However, I was looking forward. You know that I was the whole week has been about looking forward to this, to Final Fantasy, to Final Fantasy, uh, and the day finally arrives. But because I have been having so much fun with Persona and the 5, I'm kind of sitting on it. Instead of being like super, super, super stoked, I'm still stoked. Don't get me wrong, but I'm thinking like, well, maybe I should just wait until I get tired of Persona, because right now I just want to continue playing Persona, and it's a weird feeling.
Yes.
It is a very, very weird feeling because I know my true self says, "Come on, it's fucking Final Fantasy. And you've been waiting for this for 20 years. You know that you wanna play this again." But so I guess it speaks to how much I've been enjoying Persona. But anyway, I
Definitely.
couldn't get this too far on this one on Final Fantasy 7, so I'm not ready to talk too much, to say too much about it. I basically just replayed the section that would have been in the demo, and then a little bit, farther than that. I think only got to like chapter 3 at the beginning. And by that time, it was already the podcast hour. So it was time to put it aside, But yeah, man, I'm gonna let you talk about that one more because obviously you played a little bit more, I would say. But just to give my initial reactions, they haven't changed. I still think the game looks phenomenal. The fighting is certainly interesting. I have been on the verge of dying at one point. There's this
Hmm.
shock troopers that come in at you, and if you're not careful, if you're not constantly checking out your HP, you will realize that you're about to die. When the screen starts to turn, reddish.
Red, yeah.
Yeah, you're like,
The
oh
little
shit, I
notification,
guess
yeah.
I should. And for some reason, and this is the part where I'm a little like, not annoyed, but like I don't particularly love the fact that the selections that you make on the menu when you're playing in the normal way, not classic and not the other one. When you're playing in the normal way, uh, sometimes the mere the thing of accessing the menu so you can drink a fucking potion is dependent upon you having enough AP, which means that if you're about to die and you open that menu and you can't select the item because you don't have enough AP, and somehow the game wants you to continue fighting, even though you only have like maybe 50 HP left, just so that you could get enough AP so that you could so I had to basically drink a high potion at that moment because I was about to die and I hadn't saved the game. I don't know how it treats it when it's when you die, when you game over on it. I don't know if it's gonna throw me back to the beginning or I don't know. You know, uh,
I can definitely fill you in that because I have in my 8 hours died once,
oh,
and immediately I was like, man, that was and it was a good challenging fight.
mm.
Well, I'll let you finish. I
Okay.
don't
No,
want
no.
you to.
I honestly, I don't mind. I don't have much to add other than that I enjoy it, quite a bit, and I seen. I haven't delved into the reviews because I don't want to spoil myself of anything. And yes, haha, it's a 20-year-old game. Was there to spoil? No, this game actually has a lot of new things and a lot of new takes that seem to be made to. Oh, you think you know Final Fantasy VII because you played that, the PlayStation version? How cute. Okay, let me show you in what we have done to it now. And so far, like those things, I don't want to get spoiled, but I do know that there is some controversy evidently about the way the game ends and this and that. And I'm thinking like, dude, what did you expect? It wasn't gonna end. You were not. It wasn't. You were not gonna have the fight, or maybe you do. I don't know because I haven't read anything. But you're not gonna have the fight with the one-winged angel suddenly. This is not. It's not gonna. It's not the whole game. Wherever it ends, you're probably frustrated because you wanted more, and that's a good frustration to have. But yeah.
It is for sure. So yeah, as far as I have played a little more. First off, I need to preface. First off, I need to say, sir, are you done? Because I feel like I'm about to cut in between
No, no,
what
no,
you're
no,
saying.
no, no. I
Okay,
because I didn't watch anything. I just been working and playing
okay.
the
So
way it was intended.
yeah, the way quarantine is meant to
Yes,
be.
exactly.
So
Trademark.
first off, I was the I feel like I need to start with. We're already talking about it, so I might as well start. Final Fantasy VII. So I had it already preloaded, and I was waiting up until the very very few minutes got in. It starts, and it's so crazy, bro, because I start to get like literally a little emotional. I was like, I cannot believe
It
that
has come to
that
this. This is the
amazing,
moment.
yeah, that amazing reveal. Well, first off, the fact that we've wanted this for so long,
Yes.
and then secondly, we had the reveal. Right, that happened on Sony's press conference on E3,
Yeah.
which blew everyone away, and even that was emotional. And if you don't believe me, there are YouTube videos, guys. Take a look. People literally are in shock, tears, and everything. Like, cannot believe that Square is actually doing this. Lo and behold, still took 5 years from that moment. You know what I mean? To actually get it into our hands. I think 5 years. It was 2015, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think it was
That
2015. 'Cause 2014 was the famous. Oh my God, they're announcing Final Fantasy VII. Oh my God, and it ended up being like Final Fantasy VII, not remake,
yeah,
but the remaster of the original
yeah,
one, which had nothing. It was nothing special, and
nope.
that was the year of the "Please be excited."
Yes, it was 2014.
Oh my
So
God.
good job, Square. But you know what? You finally came around. You finally delivered. It was in my hands. It's playing, and after the initial, because you have to, unfortunately, that's the problem with playing the demo, particularly if the demo's right at the very beginning, you have to replay it again.
Yeah.
So you're
Mhm.
replaying over the section. And so once you get past that, it was like me personally, I was like in a race to get past it because I just felt like I did this, so I just need to get past it. I made sure that I was able to get the items and everything I needed to pick up, but I felt like I was in a rush to just kind of get to the next portion. And once
Mhm.
I do, the marvel of the game does not go away. It's just suddenly you realize everything is so magnificently detailed. It is a sprawling world, and I'm just like, whoa! I just did not see that coming at all. I mean, I did and did it. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. Like, this is looking absolutely gorgeous on my PlayStation 4. My OG PlayStation 4 is actually running this with what looks like no problem at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not even sounding like it's about to take off. It's shocking. I'm like, whoa,
No,
they
that's the pro.
really
The pro is the one that actually feels like
sounds like
it's
it's taking
about
off.
to, yeah, like it's about to end
Oh man,
itself. But that's something else.
not here. Amazingly, it's running well. Anyway, um, agreed. There are lots of surprises, and I would say updates to the original. So this is clearly gonna have something for everyone. Um, there's some stuff that that my initial. I'm just gonna get the nitpicks out of the way, right? Because they're few and far between. The world, as gorgeous as it is, I'm already like I said, I'm 8 hours in, and I'm past the part that you are at, which was you were in the train and all that. So I'm already in the town,
Mhm.
which is the Sector 7 slums,
Mhm.
and the slums themselves are just beautifully designed. It looks and feels like a real place,
Mhm.
like a place you've been to almost, and as beautiful as it is, there isn't a lot there. You know what I'm saying? There
Mhm.
isn't a lot, the occasional item and stuff like that, but nothing. It's beautiful, but by
A little
look,
barren. Yeah.
by look only. It looks. I mean, it looks like there's crates and all this stuff, whatever. And
Uh-huh.
there's the occasional invisible wall, and it's like, okay, I get it. I guess I wasn't supposed to go there, even though clearly it looks like I can just walk right over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, but sure, I guess that's what it is. I can't. I mean, that's a nitpick. I mean,
Right.
considering the game that they've delivered, I'm like, I get it. I get it. This has to be a massive undertaking that you guys have. So I get that. Um, that's real. That and there's this one is not really a spoiler because this is in the trailer, and it's been in the trailer since the beginning, since it's not a spoiler. Um, but I think that showing Sephiroth, like if you remember the original story, you know that at this point in the main story, Sephiroth is not even a thing. It's
Mhm.
never, if I recall correctly, I don't believe he's really mentioned until towards the end of the Midgar area, and he's only mentioned. He's isn't even shown until you get to Kalm, which is outside of Midgar,
Mhm.
which I mean, I don't know for sure, but considering I think this particular episode is going to be all Midgard, chances are that whole section of Calm is going to be in the next game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So them introducing him so early, um, it it feels like it's a missed opportunity. I mean, it feels like it's like, man, that was it was such a great setup in the original. Where I'm like, and although the way they're doing it, I kind of like a little bit too. I kind of like it. It feels like he may be haunting him a little bit,
Mhm.
or you know what I mean, or it feels like he's just completely affected by it for whatever reason. And obviously, I won't go into detail on that. But um, anyway, that's again a nitpick. Obviously, it's a change in the story. I'm sure they have good reason behind it because so far the avenues and stuff that they have shown as far as the story and where they have decided to expand on
Mhm.
makes sense and really I'm very happy with. Um,
So do you think it'll be uh do you think it'll be smart for them to and I know this is gonna sound a little crazy, maybe a little sacrilegious for the fans of the series, but uh, do you think a how can I say this? Could
What
Sephiroth
else sounds
not
sacrilegious?
necessarily be like the be all end all of this particular version of the game? Could they be setting something else, something more?
I
You
th-
know.
I think you're on the right track to say if that's what they're doing, they've missed the entire point.
Mm,
So I don't think so. But the original had so spoilers on the original Final Fantasy VII. The majority of the first, I don't know, 30, 40 hours into the game, in the original, when you're just in Midgar,
mhm.
um, the big bad guy is Shinra, right? It's the corporation.
Right.
President Shinra, Heidegger, eventually Rufus. That's those are the big bad guys that you figure, oh, it's you against that corporation who
Mhm.
clearly, are, destroying the planet to get money and energy. You know what I mean? Probably money first, and because we all know it's always the
Yeah,
same old why.
that's
So
right.
that's the initial thought, and you go through the game for a long time thinking this. There's a scientist, that's clearly after Aerith because she's one of the Cetras and all this other crap, right? So you go so far into it, and then suddenly the game just like immediately shows, whoa, that's not who we need to worry about. We need to worry about this lunatic Sephiroth. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Who's
Right.
not only crazy but ridiculously powerful. You know what
Right.
I mean? And it's like, and that's the worst, right? That's like saying, that's like giving the Joker immense power. You know what I'm saying? The reason why the Joker works in a lot of ways is because he's not power. He's just a normal guy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But can you imagine that insanity you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that sudden change is like, whoa, you know what I mean? And I think that they've sort of, kind of took that away from the newer people. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
The newer ones
Generation.
to the series. Yeah. To me, the moment I see him, I'm like, ooh, okay, I see. Okay, all right. And it's kind of giving you hints of what's happening and all that.
Yeah.
And I find it intriguing. But to somebody who doesn't know the series, they're gonna be like, who the fuck is this guy? You know what I mean? I
And
don't
maybe
get it.
that's the point. Maybe it's
Maybe,
that maybe
maybe.
because they could still say maybe we are upset or concerned because we're like, well, wait a minute, this is too early. That's not the way it happened, but it's not really trying to exactly
To
retell
hide
the
it.
story.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe this is
yeah.
something they're going a different route. That's what I'm saying. Could 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 this be setting up something else where we're gonna sound like we're gonna feel like
A bigger bad guy than Sephiroth? I don't know, dude. I
right,
think I think that would be a bridge too far.
you
You know what I'm
know?
saying? I think that would be a mistake,
Mm,
and only because we all know. And it's like, who else? What else
yeah.
could it be? You know what I mean? Beyond, because now you have to now you literally have to invent something,
So he
and
had a
you know what I mean? And
sister, and the sister
yes, his
is
sister named
Eris.
Mary Ruff. Yeah,
It turns out Eris was a Sephiroth all along. He wasn't
yep.
the
She
power
was
he
a
was
she was
there.
a Ruff.
That's right.
It's
That's
I
right.
mean,
We don't know
sure.
the
I guess we
origins
can go
of
with that.
Eris, so that could be it. There you
The
go.
I mean, I guess it's possible, but I don't think so. I don't think that that's what they're going to do. And again, so that happens pretty early on, right? I'm already 8 hours in, and I've already went through several things where I'm like, okay, this is clearly different,
Mhm,
and I like where they're going with it. I
mhm,
like that it's like it's expanding on certain things that I just didn't. And there are elements that they do bring in. You said you were in the train already. Did you
mhm.
get out of the train
I literally just I set foot and that's when I
into the train?
stopped. Yeah.
Okay,
No, I
okay, all
set
right.
foot out of the
So,
train and that's when I stopped.
oh, okay, okay, okay. So you remember that in the train sequence, when you leave after the first reactor, you go to
Mhm,
destroy. in the train sequence, they go up to the front and you stand with Jesse and she's showing you the monitor and all that. That was completely done again, you know. And I
Yeah.
saw that and I was like, that's cool. You know, it's like
Yeah.
you're keeping the structure for a lot of it, but they are expanding on it, and they're expanding on it on places that make sense.
Yeah.
So of that, I love the battles. I dig, even though I did die once, but honestly, it wasn't it was my own fault because like you said, I wasn't keeping an eye on my thing, and then I was getting overwhelmed because there were several powerful characters that were
Yeah.
fighting. But the second time I went in, it was like, it's like I got it, like I got the hint, and just what you normally do, focus on taking one person out so that you eliminate three people. The AP thing, I get it, but it's the same thing in a turn-based thing, right? You still got to wait for your turn, even if it's to use an item. It is what it is. Does it make sense in a thing that you're running around in? Maybe not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was gonna say
Uh,
it didn't feel like it was. I don't know. I don't remember being in a situation where it's like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, I'm being attacked, but my AP now feels like it's not my turn.
the
Although it
true, but you
happens,
can still
yeah.
attack. Yeah, you can still attack, and in attacking, you can withhold because your attack is still there. It's just
But
special attacks you can't do in items.
yeah,
So with the
who
attack, you
knows that
can
the item
use,
was
or
a
you can
special
even block.
attack?
Yeah, I mean it could be.
Yeah. That,
But with that, what I'm saying is that you can obviously, what did they say? Sometimes the best defense is a good offense. Well, in that
right.
case, at that point, you got to go on the offensive to make sure you're keeping them back.
Oh,
So that
I was on the
you know
offensive.
what I
I
mean?
was running. I was running away. I think I ran
That's
the entire. And here's what happened: you run the entire section of the city, and then at some point I was like, well, I'm not gonna run anymore because I'm gonna die. I'm gonna have to face him. But somehow miraculously I beat them, but I'm still in the fighting stance. So I'm like, well, shit, where are the other enemies? And it's because the other enemies are like all the way in the front where I started the fight. And like, well, shit, I'm trying to collect things that I see around, but I can't because I'm on that fighting stance. I was like, oh, well, great. At one point,
oh,
like,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I thought like, okay, did it bug or what's going on? Because I can't get out of this fighting stance. Because it treats
No,
the
that's the powerful stance. Yeah, the I can't remember what it's called now. You have the operator and you have the
well, either one. I got
yeah,
the operator and the uh, pain giver, whatever it is. Um,
yeah.
but I cannot get out of. I couldn't get out of it. I couldn't grab items that I saw like laying around, like a purple material that was like right there, and it wouldn't let me pick it. I was like, okay, so what do I do? And then I remember, oh, because this game doesn't do the like on the classic Final Fantasy where it fades to a fighting arena and you finish it and then you get
No, you're yeah.
and then
Hmm.
you go in. So this game doesn't do that. It's hey, there's gonna be sections where there're gonna be enemies, destroy the enemies, and you just continue going, which is fine. It works.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
uh,
no,
but because of
definitely.
that, I
But
was
for me,
confused.
yeah, I've gotten used to that. I've also gotten pretty good because I did a lot. I've done a little bit of grinding already, and you don't. It's completely
Boo,
optional.
boo.
Yeah, it's completely optional, and when you'll see the opportunity for it's one of those things like you don't actually have to grind,
Mhm.
that you just kind of
You're
beelining
already,
essentially.
yeah, you're already programmed to do so whenever you find the opportunity
The
to
yeah,
grind in
exactly.
Final
Well, you
Fantasy.
go back like you're in an area that has enemies, and you clear an area out here. You go over
Yeah,
to the next area. But when you come back to that same area, like more enemies appear again. And like,
yeah,
okay, well, and that's when I realized, oh, so this will be a good way of grinding a little bit. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And it's really because I'm just backtracking because I need to backtrack, not because I want to. But like I'm saying, the opportunity to grind is there. And so
If you must.
if you must, yeah. Some of the quests are a little bit silly so far. The side quests are a little bit silly, but it's early on, and I'm pretty sure it's more to do with that, because you're kind of getting the hang of certain things,
Mhm.
and I think that's just the way the game. That's just gaming 101, basically. How do we get them used to doing certain things, but have them do something in the meantime instead
I
of
know
having
how.
tutorials
Kill 50 rats and come back for your pelt.
for your pelt? Yep. Um, So I'm really digging the battle. You're right. It is challenging, but it is fun. It's one of those fun, particularly when I'm able to now switch between, because I will set up a move on someone, right, and immediately switch over to somebody else, get them going on it, and then I have like a limit break or something. Like I hit the limit break for this person while they're doing that. Switch back over here. I'm like,
Yeah,
this is a lot of fucking fun. You know, it's
yeah.
like it really feels like you have this dynamic control. And I've been using Tifa, and so she's actually her I won't say much, but her style of combat, obviously, which if you know from her before, it's very similar, but she has some very interesting moves and very interesting ways, especially when you put it together with somebody else.
Mhm.
Anyway, very cool fighting so far. Really enjoy that. To answer your question from before, if you die, you have the opportunity. Usually in a battle, obviously, you have the opportunity to start from your last checkpoint, from your last save point, or from right before the battle you just lost.
Oh wow,
Obviously, yeah,
that
and
is.
it's
Oh wow,
yeah, so it's very updated in that sense. I do have several files, and when I went to
that's a little
take a look at
too too gracious. Giving you the opportunity to start the battle that killed you
the right before the
right
battlefield,
before.
you can actually yeah. So you can so it put me right there before I entered the room that I needed to go into, and that triggered the whole battle. And so I was like, okay, that works. And I started from there, and I was like, okay. So it's actually, I mean, I don't know if it's sure. I guess it's you can look at it as being forgiving. At the same time, it's like I think we've reached the point in gaming where that's what I would want. Why would I want to have
I
to
don't know. I
redo
don't know
an
what.
hour's worth of
No,
shit?
no, no. Yeah, true. I don't want to do an hour, but I also don't want to be put right there because then it just trivializes the whole dying process. Like it doesn't matter. You can just pile
Well,
yourself through it. You know.
it's still something that I think can like it's still something that can be. I can't say much without saying it, but there's just some battles that take some time.
Right.
So if you lose a battle,
Yeah. You're not gonna want to
okay,
lose them. Yeah.
correct, because you're gonna have to start the entire thing over again. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And like to picture the one from the demo, that's a lengthy battle.
Yeah.
So if you died right at the very end, you're starting that entire battle over again. So the
Yeah.
battle, why add more to it if you already have to start the battle over again anyway, and it's already going to be challenge battle to begin with.
True. True.
So I think it's a good balance. I think it's a good balance, and again, you have the choice to go back to the last checkpoint or save point, whatever you want to do. So it's options. I think is what they went with, and I appreciate the options, particularly
Yeah.
that one. Like I said, because the reason I died again, it was a foolish thing on my sense where I just wasn't paying attention to because I was like, I got these guys. You know what I mean? I was like, I got these guys. Yeah, obviously they're a bunch of fools. But no, that wasn't the case. There was a little trick to them that I didn't know. And then when I figured it out, is when I was like, "Oh, I see where I fucked up. Yeah, I see where I fucked up." And then I died. And I was like, "Okay, well, let's do this." But so I
Yeah.
appreciate that, and I think I would have been a little more frustrated if I had to go redo a few things just to get back to there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in this day and age, and in my age that I am now, and how my life is, I can't be redoing a bunch of
No. Right.
shit. So I just don't have the time to do that. So I definitely appreciate it.
There's nothing wrong
I
with
won't.
having options at
True.
the end of the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
So
True. Yeah.
yeah.
So I won't say much more because there is all to say that I really enjoy so far. The majority of the stuff that I've done feels new and fresh and makes sense so far to the story. So it doesn't feel like it's just added to add, unless you count the side quests. Like I said, some of the side quests are very silly, but at the same time, you either grind
Mm-hmm.
the old school grind or you have these silly side quests. I mean, we're not, unfortunately, they're not Witcher side quests, but what is really so
Yeah.
other than Witcher side quests?
Yeah,
Let's
let me
be
tell you,
real.
I'm still, even though and I'm with you on everything. I'm loving this game, and I had anticipated on that. I'm still a little cringy on the voice acting department of some of the characters, particularly friggin' Barrett, which I just don't want to hear it. I don't want to listen to him. He's so bad. It's not even comedic. It's just he sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, it's. I agree. It's. I can't say I'm getting used to it. I think I'm getting numb to it.
Yes, I think
Is
that's
really
yeah.
what it is because I'm not getting used to it, but I'm certainly getting numb to it. Some of the other characters, and in the end, it's a Japanese game, so you're gonna have those.
Yeah, true.
I would love to see a game that's voice acted and performance acted the way some of the Naughty Dog games are and all that in a game like this. Oh my god, it would be amazing.
Yeah,
But
on a
this is
JRPG because
Japanese.
we had the
Yeah,
Witcher, which was fantastic.
it
The
was.
voiceover
Even though it wasn't what do you call that? No, it was voice
Japanese.
acted very well, but no. What I'm saying, it was voice acted pretty well, but it wasn't motion captured. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh,
So that
right,
the
right.
motions of the person. So here you have a lot of like when you'll probably see but some of the girls they talk and they do these little poses as they're talking. I'm like, who
Oh
the fuck
yeah, I
does
know.
that? No one does that
I
shit. You know
know,
what I
I
mean? No
know, I
one
know,
does
I
that.
know, I know. Oh my
so
god! Only in Japanese
so
you can get
only
probably
in
away
Japanese
with it,
games. Yeah,
and
exactly.
and
But
and I'm giving the benefit of the
the
doubt because I honestly don't know. I see them doing the
but the
peace sign a
problem is
lot, so.
yeah, but the problem is when you add so much level of realism to Midgar and the slums and everything, and you really feels
I
like a
know.
breathed-in world, and then you throw that into it, you're like, okay,
It's
I can't. You know what I mean? Again, nitpick. I swear to God, these are
it's a super
I am.
nitpick.
Yeah,
Listen,
yeah,
listen.
this is
My the first thing I saw when I was traversing through the Midgar and the messed up version, after obviously a disaster happened, and you're like, where are the ambulances? Why don't I hear the sound of the ambulance? Like, what's going on? Why is everybody just standing quiet there? And then I
because
realized, like, no, 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 I gotta stop because I know what's happening. I'm seeing the high level fidelity of it so much that now I expect like everything. Like, next thing I know, I'll be like, where's the ray tracing?
yeah,
And I can't be like that.
exactly.
I can't do
Why
that.
can't it reflect light? Like, what is wrong with that light that's reflecting there? That doesn't make sense, dude. But there is some seriously good lighting effect in
Oh
this shit
yeah,
too.
oh, it looks
It's
fantastic, dude.
ridiculous. Anyway, so that's my 8 hour early impression of that, and it is all that I want to do from now on. I mean, I feel like I text somebody from work actually because I was like, I feel like a kid again. I feel like a kid that wants to go get my bag of chips and a soda and sit in front of my TV and just game until my eyes are red and it's late for no reason. Like, oh my god, I should go to bed. I That's how I feel.
Yeah.
In the end, this may not be the best game of this generation or this year or anything like that. But that feeling, I don't think I've gotten in a long, long time. Where it's just, and I would say the last time was probably The Witcher 3, and that's because I had plenty of time to play The Witcher 3, and I that's how I did. I would plan my days around it. So okay, I got to do this, I got to do this, and then I'm from here to here. I got nothing going on, so that's what I'm gonna do. And I made myself a sandwich. I'd sit in front of the TV and put it on, and I would start while I'm eating the sandwich. I'm going through the bestiary. You know what I mean? So I don't have to cane because I have to eat. I can't eat and game at the same time. So anyway, that's my early impression of that. Real quick, what else I've been doing before I started the Final Fantasy trip? I finished the Resident Evil 3 remake.
Yeah, you
Uh,
did.
I did, and I gotta tell you, I am pleasantly surprised with that. Pleasantly happy with that game. Not surprised. Um, I I kind of understand. Like, so I beat the game, and then I go, okay, let's go see why they gave it a 6 in GameSpot. Why they I wanted to see where the angles are coming from. Um, a lot of it was because it was short, and I was like, in my head, I'm going, yes, but the other one was short. You know what I mean? The original Resident Evil 3 was short. The difference here is because again, you have for Resident Evil 2, you have two campaigns, and there's a lot of retreading, so it's almost in the same area, anyways. But so I think that kind of bolsters that game a little bit. However, I will agree that there are definitely some. how do I say, the Resident Evil 2 has a lot of modes
Mm.
that this one doesn't have. You have your mercenaries mode, you have your tofu mode, you have all these ridiculous modes that you can play in the game in Resident Evil
Tofu.
2, and none of them are here. What do they have? They have Resident Evil Resistance, which I have yet to start, and zero interest in starting.
Yeah, I don't see
Um,
you playing that.
yeah, I have zero interest in starting. So that's where I think the big error in judgment is. It's like no one asked for that. Who was asking for this? Um, give us those stupid modes. Give us all the, and all this stuff.
Mm.
We'll tell you one thing. I beat the game and then I started another playthrough, and I was able to go into the little shop and buy a couple of the unlimited guns and start my playthrough with that. And those are always fun. And now it becomes a speed run thing.
Mm.
Trying to remember where things are, that type of thing. And it's enjoyable. It's a very, very enjoyable game. Is it short? Yes. It took me 6.5 hours. You know,
Okay.
that was my time. My time on the game, literally 6.5 hours, and I was taking my time.
Yeah. You
So
were taking your time with it. Yeah, I mean, I can see. I a 6.5 hour game. It is on the short side, but if you're a fan of it, it's gonna be something that you will get out of it what you put into,
correct, right? Yeah,
and so the reason why I feel like a lot of people complain about it was comparing it to the previous iteration. It has so many modes, like you mentioned. This one felt like a little barren, uh
yeah. It doesn't have
but
any
yet
new
it still
modes.
costs
Yeah,
the same. So I understand the complaints, but at the same time, it's not like a fucking six. Like, why would
yeah.
it be a?
Again, and they were adamant in saying this does not include Resident Evil Resistance. So
Mm,
I'm like, so you're saying just this game is a six, not the reason?
mm,
You know what I mean? The putting them together, yes, I can see a six. If you're going to rate them two, Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil Resistance together as one thing,
mm,
clearly see a six. I will have no argument on it.
yeah.
But if you're just saying no, just the main campaign, like what? No, um, I don't see it. It's a really well made game.
What's
They
your
are
take?
some of the. I
What
would give it an eight. Like I'd give it a solid eight. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I started playing it again.
a
I
solid
was like, I could play this again.
a solid eight. You gave that to
Solid
Doom
eight.
also.
The
To Doom
did I give
Eternal,
it?
right? I thought you
I
did. I thought you
I
said a
think
solid
so.
eight. I
I
think
think
you
you're
actually
right.
literally said
Yeah,
a solid eight. Okay. So this game
you're
is
probably
right
right.
there with Doom Eternal.
Okay, so you're probably right. In comparison, I had to say maybe this is more like a 7.5 then,
Okay.
because I will take away from it the fact that it's not. You can't even really call it a campaign. You know what I mean? But that said, it's also, you know what? No, I'm going back up to eight because it's also one of those things where this fits perfectly into my life. Where if I
Mm,
want to take that romp again, I can,
mm,
and know that I can go through it and finish it in one sitting.
right.
And it's fun. It's a lot of fun. The enemies are scary. Nemesis is not as I
Scripted.
would say that the well, it depends. There are like in the beginning of the game, he is more like Mr. X. Once he shows up, you're like, "Fuck, I need to run." But now you're jetting. You have to jet and
Mm,
duck, and it's not just running away from him because he is not Mr. X. He will jet, take you down. You know what I
mm,
mean? And you need to like angle it as you're running away. You need to angle it. You know that running that you hate when
yeah.
you're running towards the camera. Well, you don't have a choice. You need to do that because you need to see if he's leaping at you,
Oh,
and if he is,
yay.
you got to be able to dodge. Otherwise, he's just going to knock you straight to the ground. You know what I mean? Because you're not going to see it coming. You can try to listen for it because you can hear the like he's about to lunge. You know what I mean? But then it's a timing thing, and sure, if you want to do it blind. Um,
No, I go fast.
but anyway, but yeah, but although you do have it, sir, we are game sharing, so by all means, if
Oh,
you want to give it a
shit.
shot,
I guess I have it. Fuck.
yeah,
I
you
guess
do.
I have no choice.
No, I mean, you have a choice. You don't have to, but I'm just saying it's there if you want. Um, but anyway,
No.
it's I really enjoyed it. Jill is a fucking badass dude. I think she is more badass than Claire and Leon put together.
Wow.
I think she is. and first off, she calls him out on shit, which I love. I cannot, I, can't, I cannot stop laughing when I think of the fact that she calls Nemesis a bitch several times. I'm just like, wow.
Wow.
She's
Okay,
just too
Jesse.
badass. Yeah, yeah, she's just. Yes, exactly. It's fucking Jesse
Breaking
from
Bad.
Breaking Bad. Yeah. So she's just really cool, man, and she's tough. Carlos is an awesome character. On top of that, awesome character. I fucking let me tell you, there's maybe a little bit of a guy crush there because this dude is too cool for school, bro.
Yeah.
He is really he's well developed, well thought out. He says stuff that you as a player think.
Mhm.
I think I mentioned this before, and I don't know if I did, but he walks up to one of the rooms in the precinct, right? Because he's in the precinct for a moment and sees the stupid clover or the diamond room or the heart room,
Uh-huh.
right? Some dumb shit that we know from Resident Evil back in the day,
Yeah.
and he immediately exclaims like, "Look at this crazy fucking door!" Just like, and he has that, like I said, that.
You're like, I know, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Who the hell created this shit? But on top of that, he is exceptionally well voice acted, and so anyway, great game. Honestly, I will bring it back up to an 8 because I still feel sure it's short, but at the same time it I might have to think of moving Doom Eternal under it, maybe a 7-9 for
At
Doom Eternal.
7-9, Doom Eternal. This one an 8. Wow. Okay. All right.
I know, I know.
If you want to
Who
be
knows?
if you want to be on that camp, I can't join you, but I'll send you with my blessing. I
I
can't join
appreciate
you
that,
there
sir.
though.
No, that's fine. I'm not even sure I agree with it. I'll probably think more about it. But anyway, so that's Resident Evil 3. And then finally, I did catch a movie, and it's a shame because this is a movie that I really would have loved to talk to Chaos about because I think he would love this movie, and I think you guys would too as well. It's called Molly's Game,
Oh,
and it stars Jessica Chastain. I think actually, if I think about it correctly, I think the missus will definitely dig this movie, sir.
oh, okay.
So what it is, it's also based on a true story. So it is the true story of Molly Bloom. She was an Olympic class skier who also ended up running the world's most exclusive high stakes poker game, and then finally became a target for the FBI. True story.
Oh wow.
So,
Shit.
yeah. So it's actually very cool. Also stars Idris Elba, who also does an awesome role. I think one of the best things of this movie, first off, it's one of those movies where it feels a little. I always kind of mention this, but it feels a little Ocean's 11 like, where, or maybe not
Mhm.
Ocean's 11, but similar to those films where somebody's retelling the story, but you're seeing it happen, and they're
Okay.
saying it in a certain way where it's very flashy and all that.
Yeah.
And so that's the kind of movie it is. It is directed by Aaron Sorkin. You probably know him from stuff like A Few Good Men.
Mhm.
He's done a bunch of. He does a lot of TV, West Wing and 30 Rock. Anyway, the point is, it's very good. Highly recommended. Jessica Chastain is awesome in it, and like I said, Idris Elba's in it, good in it too. It's interesting. It's crazy that this ever actually even happened.
I would say
And
yeah.
at the same time, it's one of those things like, man, I would love to go to it. I would love to do it. I would love to be one of the. But the reason I wanted to bring it up for Chaos, and I'll still mention it to him later, but it's because of that, because it's about, he's the Chaos is a dealer, a car dealer, guys. So, we clarify here,
The
he's a
moment
car
is
dealer. Yeah.
nice save. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you, thank you. And so there was a lot of terms and stuff like that were used. It was one of those like insider baseball type of moments where you're like, they're using specific terms, and I'm like, I don't know what that means. I
Mhm.
have to look that up. But of course, there are moments where she kind of explains, the poker lingo essentially.
Yeah.
And so I wanted him to check it out because I figured he won, of being of that field, he'd appreciate it as well. and also because actually it's a very good movie. So,
Yeah.
highly recommend. It is currently, I saw it for free, and I want to say it is on. Let me see where it's on right now. I forgot. Should have had that ready. That's my bad, guys. Because it's actually no, not on Prime. The fuck did I say? Oh, it's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. Okay,
It's
Netflix.
on Netflix. Yeah. So yeah. So definitely, it's actually number. I don't know if you've seen Netflix recently, but they have like the top 10 watched things
Oh yeah,
now. It's
I've
one of the
noticed
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So this is
a
actually
lot of
one of them.
pandemic
Yeah.
movies.
The
Oddly
well,
enough.
yeah. Recently, yeah. This is one of them for the record, and it's not a pandemic. So there you go.
There you go.
So there you go. And that, gentlemen, that's just you and me, is all that I have been doing. Woo. And we're back, guys, and it is time for our trailer of the week.
Thank you for damaging our ears. It's what the people are saying right now.
Oh no, I get it. And you're welcome. That's all I have to say. Oh man, our trailer of the week, guys, is a little title called Extraction. Coming directly to Netflix, and the reason so we saw the trailer, and I think we can both agree that it looks good, looks action packed,
It's very
but
good.
but looks maybe like it's treading on water we've already
Yeah,
already know about.
a few times,
Yeah,
but it's okay because it doesn't take away the entertainment factor. Just know that if you watch the trailer, you probably gonna be like, okay, I think I got everything I wanted from it.
yeah, and man, the trailer does unfortunately give a little too much, as per usual, when it comes to these fucking trailers nowadays. But
Yeah.
the reason I actually wanted to, it even piqued my interest is, first off, it stars Chris Helmsworth of Thor fame. And it also is produced by Anthony and Joe Russo, the Russo brothers, who are responsible for Endgame and the Infinity War, and also my personal favorite, Winter Soldier. They're the ones who brought us Winter Soldier. Now they are producing this, not directing it. So a little bit of a different role. Joe Russo is actually the writer of the film, so he is the writer, and the director Sam Hargrave is actually the stunt coordinator for Avengers Endgame and Civil War, and a movie, Atomic Blonde, which I still say is actually pretty good. You should definitely see. So
Then he has some good pedigree, evidently.
correct, even though the pedigree is maybe not where we like. I would, if this was a directed Russo brother film, boom.
Yeah.
This is a must watch right here. And it's still, I still definitely want to see it. And I don't want to take anything away from Sam Hargrave, but he's, from what I can tell, he hasn't really been in that director role. And his claim to fame is the stunt coordinator, which the films I mentioned, there's some good choreography there.
Sure, yeah.
So that's the reason why I was like, okay, I can see this, and this could be, who knows? This could be a surprise. This could be one of those trailers that make you think one thing, and you end up having something completely different,
Yeah.
which Netflix is kind of good at doing as well. So this will come out to Netflix on April 24th. Hopefully, we'll be on the other side of this pandemic. But if not, something else for us to watch
Yeah.
in the comfort of our quarantine.
Yeah. That's right.
So let's move on now to the useless news that you can use. There isn't a lot going on here in the world of
There is a
of
lot
gaming.
going on in the world. Oh.
Well, there's a lot going on in the world, but not probably in the world of gaming.
No, no,
Uh,
yet. No.
But that said, there's a couple news bits here and there that I kind of wanted to go into. The first one is that Cyberpunk 2077 has already announced It's first off, they've announced there is no delay for the moment. They didn't say the for the moment. I'm the one saying for the moment. It's for the record. But also that DLC, they announced some DLC that will be coming before the announcement. Excuse me, a DLC announcement will be coming before the game drops, which is not out of the ordinary for them. The game Witcher 3, they had already advised of the plans for Blood and Wine and Heart of Stone before the game actually launched. So this is a good thing as far because to let us know that obviously the game itself will have additional content
Support, yeah.
coming to it, yeah, and support, which is to be expected when it comes to CD Projekt Red at this point. But also it it obviously it also good to know that the game itself is going to have plenty of it.
Yeah,
So
it's hard
what
to
do you?
be it's hard to be jaded about it's like, oh, they haven't released the game, they're already talking about DLC. No, but this DLC they're talking about is expansion. It's
Hmm.
additional content. It's what you would want a good game to have. They're not talking about season passes
Correct,
or
correct, yeah,
you don't hear microtransactions in the forms of loot boxes or stuff like that. That's not what they're talking about here, and I can appreciate, just like I could appreciate the fact that uh, there is going to be more Doom, more Doom Eternal. When that came out, he got announced that there was going to be at least two expansions, and I already know that I like Doom. I already know that I want more Doom. So I have bought the version that have those, included, so that when they come out, same thing with Control. Control DLC is out. Who doesn't want more Control? Who doesn't want more of a good game?
I agree.
So,
I
so yeah,
agree.
it's
Thank
not.
you for reminding me too. I need to
Yeah, we
go
could have
back
played
to that
that
at
actually.
some point. Yeah, at some point. Although not anytime soon, but definitely at some point.
Well, you know
Uh,
what? The way I don't think Final Fantasy is gonna take you too long to be. Let's just say.
I mean, it's possible, and considering one, I don't think it's obviously not like 100-hour RPG or anything like that, but
No.
also considering how much I am just consuming it, you're right. I'll probably get through it
I'll say
rather quickly,
I'll give it a week. I'll give it another week,
and it'll be
and
good.
we'll be
Yeah.
done. Yeah.
Um, oh God, that's such a good. Anyway, so yes, look forward to that Cyberpunk's DLC announcement coming soon on that.
Hey, you know what else you could be looking forward to? I know you're very excited about this one. Saints Row the Third Remastered. Woo! Where's my love?
Sure.
You know
Oh,
what?
woo, okay,
There
okay.
you go. Hey, not for nothing. I'm not a big fan of Saint Row titles, but I understand that Saint Row the Third is the best one of those, for whatever it's worth.
Okay.
For what
I
that's
mean,
worth.
you're not a big fan. I'm not a fan. So there you go.
Saints. I'm not a fan either, but whatever. Uh, so so Saints Row the Third remaster is gonna be out, and it's gonna push the visual fidelity on consoles, uh, but not the frame rate. Wah, wah.
Wah,
Uh,
wah.
as the as with most console games, Saints Row the Third remaster will be locked at 30 frames per second on PS4 and Xbox One. Not only that, but the more powerful consoles, the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X, won't be getting any modes that favor frame rate. That fact was revealed to IGN, which also confirmed that the PC version, thankfully, won't suffer from the same limitations. Although I will hope, I will fucking hope so. Allowing PC players to push the visual and frame rate as long as they have the hardware for it. The remaster does, however, bring a few welcome upgrades to the game overall graphics. There was a reveal trailer that showcased improved lighting, visual effects, and an entirely rebuilt vehicle and weapon models. So there is plenty to look forward to next month, well, because that is when it's going to be released. It's going to be launching on May 22nd for PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
Nice. Nice. All right. My next piece. Hello Games keeps rolling out free
Hello,
content
games.
for No Man's Sky. The latest is a giant mech suit that players can build for exploration and combat. It is called the Minotaur, and it's
Oh
live
yeah,
right now as we speak, and it's part of the Exo Mech update. The Minotaur mech features a jetpack that allows you to jump and slide, an immersive cockpit with multiple active display panels, and has optional top mounted tools and weaponry. You can even
nice.
call it down from your orbiting freighter, just like in the first person shooter Titanfall. Best of all,
Ooh.
it's immune to all planetary hazards. That should dramatically expand the survivability of players looking to explore strange new planets and live off the land once they've touched down. Uh, I honestly think whether I play it or not, I
And
feel
you should.
like and I probably should. You're probably at this point. It's I think they have completely reinvented the game from what
Oh
it
yeah,
was.
they more than redeem themselves. It's like Sean Murray took it. Sean Murray was that his name? I
I remember,
forgot.
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yep,
I think he took the criticism too hard, and I think there are people over there, telling him like, "Hey man, it's all right. People love you again.
yeah,
Don't
yeah.
you worry. You don't have
You're
to.
fine. Yeah,
You don't
you're
have.
fine.
You already proven yourself." And he's like, "No." They say this. They said I was a liar. They say this game didn't have content. I'll show them. I'm like, dude, you're
I
okay.
would
What?
show them
What?
so much content they will
Mechs?
never leave their houses.
It's like people don't need mechs. You're breaking your game now. Now you're gonna trivialize the survivability of it. You don't need to come on, Sean. Stop. And he's like, no, I'm coding more. This game will be Star Citizen by the time I'm done with it.
It may be. It may be. I wonder what the file size of this shit is now. Now that I think about it, Jesus Christ, it's got to be
Well, remember,
immense at this point.
well, no, actually, remember, it's everything is what do you call as procedural generated, so it's just a bunch of math. So you'll be surprised.
Okay, you're
It's not
right.
that
You're
big.
right. You're
Yeah,
right. It's just figuring shit out. You're right.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
for that particular spot. Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So this one is an interesting one just because I didn't know this was happening, and it's good to see the Switch, Nintendo Switch, getting some love. Um, Not to say that it doesn't get, but that came out bad. Never mind that. Disco Elysium to rock out on Nintendo Switch. Just
Okay.
days after uh, winning, uh, winning big at the BAFTA. Actually, that's right. They won a bunch of awards. Um, Disco Elysium has been confirmed for Nintendo Switch. The announcement was made by art director Alexander Rostov and narrative lead Helen Heinpier. I don't know if I'm mispronouncing that. I'm sure that I am. Speaking on with the
I am
BBC
too.
Game On podcast. I'm pretty sure I am.
I'm just kidding.
Uh, uh, let's see. It says this interview at this very moment is interrupting me from writing up design documentation for use on the user interface and input system for the Switch port. Rostov said. Development on the port will happen soon. Heinpier added. Disco Elysium picked up three prizes at this year's BAFTA Game Awards for Best Debut Game, Best Music, and Best Narrative.
Mm.
Um, and it says the game was first released on PC in 2019 with a PlayStation 4 and Xbox One versions already set to follow. So that's interesting. It's coming pretty much everywhere. I think this will be an interesting one just to get your reaction. I will be especially interested to see if it's something that you grab and stick to it, just because I think you'll be very very fascinated with the type of game it is, like with the not just the interface but the things that it presents you. I think they're very very original, very intricate, and I think this even the story will probably super grab you. I just don't know if the gameplay element is your favorite. Like I honestly, and I don't, and I'm not saying that
No,
in
no,
a
I
bad way
got you.
for the
A negative
game,
way, yeah, yeah.
you know, or towards the game or towards you. It's just it definitely feels like a Eastern European RPG game. You can feel it. But you love that one. You love that because you love The Witcher. So who
Yeah,
knows?
and I also like the. Well, I don't know if that would be Eastern European. That'll probably be more. No, that would be Eastern European. Oh no, that would be more.
Which one?
Yeah, that would be Eastern. Fuck the
Oh, the
Metro
Metro
series. Yeah,
series.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Something
that's not
like that.
RPG. That's a more action. But I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
Cool.
cool beans. My next piece, guys. This is actually something that I'm pretty sure that Mr. Chaos would be announcing for us. So I'm going to do it for him since he's not here. Overwatch's new hero, Echo, will join the game's lineup next week on Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4,
Oh.
PC, Xbox One. Developer Blizzard Entertainment announced Thursday. Following the flight plan, the developer tweeted from the Overwatch account, Echo swoops into Overwatch on April 14th. Echo has been playable on PC and Overwatch's public test region since March 19th. Blizzard has first shared new details on Echo in March when it revealed Echo's origin story. She first appeared in the lore doing the McCree cinematic called Reunion, which
Mm.
debuted on BlizzCon in 2018. So, for those still in the Overwatch universe, you expect to see Echo on April 14th for you.
That's very soon. Actually, that's this week.
That is.
Holy smokes! Oh wow, wow. And there are a lot of people in that camp. The ESA reportedly announces dates for a reimagined E3 in 2021. Oh boy. The Entertainment Software Association has formally announced dates for a reimagined E3 in 2021 following the cancellation of E3 2020. E3 2021 will be held from June 15 to June 17 of 2021. According to GameIndustry.biz, the ESA sent out the news to industry partners late Friday. As you all know, E3 2020 was canceled on March 11 due to concerns over the COVID-19 coronavirus and the ensuing shelter-in-place orders that various state governments had issued, including Los Angeles, California, where E3 is held each year. So reimagine. It's
Mhm.
the part that has me wondering. Like, okay, so what what do you think they mean by that? Like, how can you change the setup? Are they talking about? Well, this is gonna be a public people event because I feel like that's what it is now. Or are they reimagining it a lot into like a digital space, maybe? Or like, what do you think that means? Because the article certainly doesn't mention much.
Yeah, I personally think this is a desperate attempt for them to say, "Hey, we are still important. Don't forget about us this year." I
E3 is still a
that's
thing.
it's yeah, yeah. I really think that that's what it is. I honestly think, and I hate to be the one to say this. I honestly think that this may be it. We
Oh
may not
no.
see the E3 that we're used to
We saw the E3.
next year.
Oh no.
Yeah, I know this is a very pessimistic view. Obviously, there were a few, like for
Oh.
instance, if you really look at Bethesda, right? Bethesda is not even doing a freaking digital event, and
Yeah.
I think the reason is they ain't got shit to say. You know, I think they painted themselves into a corner by doing the yearly ones, and even after that first one, um, afterward they were like, "Oh, this is actually not that much information, and they're not that big. They don't need to have such a big event."
No.
And I'm
Yep.
sure it cost them a lot of money. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I'm sure it was for the fans. You know, I think there was so much involved in it that they were just doing it that way.
Yeah.
Um, that's my personal. That's my personal take. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if hey. believe me or don't believe me, I am not. Uh, I don't know. I just feel that it's they're grasping at straws. This is what I really feel like,
I feel like the
and
interest is not there anymore from from a lot of the companies
because of
to
money, it costs so much.
yeah,
It
and
costs
they're
a
realizing they
lot.
don't need to. They don't need it anymore in this day and age. Which again, I really like E3, but I think I like it in more of a romantic sense. Not so much what it has become
Hmm.
lately, because like you see, like Nintendo doesn't show up now. Sony doesn't even show up, and even Microsoft showing up and saying, "Oh yeah, no, we'll be there. We'll have that." Back when it was, everything was planning on still going. Uh, Even that felt like, oh man, that's kind of all. That's kind of the old ways of doing this kind of presentations, anymore. And
Yeah, yeah.
I hate to say it because I love that era. I love that that the whole week of new stuff
Hmm.
that is coming out of. But again, I feel like I like it in that sentimental way.
Nostalgic way, and
That,
and
yeah,
not in a realistic one. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I can definitely agree with that.
yeah.
I can definitely agree with that. Sir, I don't have anything else. For the record, I don't know if you have anything else. What I have is the
Well,
smallest little thing,
I,
and I guess I can throw it out there, but it's not even. And only I throw it out there
no,
because.
no, not me, because
Okay.
we are missing the major
Okay.
megaton that happened this week. And now I'm not talking about Final Fantasy. We already talked about Final Fantasy VII Remake. The
Hmm.
major megaton that happened this week was not about. It's not a. There was not a lot of. There was not a lot of news, but it was of a big impact. It left a big crater, when it was dropped.
Okay.
You don't know?
I probably will when you say it, but nothing comes to mind at the moment.
Sir, we got to see this week the gamepad, the PlayStation 5 gamepad was shown for
Oh
the first
yes,
time. And that
yeah, yeah.
happened
You're
this
right.
week, believe it or
That
not.
did happen this week. Yeah.
That was huge.
Sorry. Final
So
Fantasy just suddenly overshadowed everything, guys. I'm sorry.
you know what? You know what? And it shouldn't have, in the sense of, man, what a and for all, or maybe we're just like superstar for Sony News of any sorts, but I wouldn't think so. I They released photo of the actual what the actual controller, what the actual PlayStation 5 controller will look like,
Mhm.
and uh in retrospect, I feel like there's a lot to take from this, because that thing is freaking gorgeous, bro. That thing is
I
beautiful.
I will admit that it is
Man, did they
very.
nail it.
I will admit that it is actually a very good looking controller. Um, I don't know if I'm as excited as everybody else is for it. I think again, I agree. I think, and I'm going to jump on that. I really think it's because it's just this trickled piece of news
Mhm.
for Sony's PlayStation 5, and it's just like, hey, oh shit, you know what I mean? But it is a good look. I want to. I kind of want to get it in. Like, I want to be able to see it and get it in my hands. You know what I mean? Before I make the ultimate decision on it. But I don't know.
I mean, pro-
I do like the information that they mentioned on it. I'm sure you have. I guess you have the news piece. You can say that the
No,
the
I don't.
specs and all that. Yeah.
I'm totally like, I don't have anything on it, because for some reason when I saw that, I was so enthralled with the actual look of it that I
Mhm.
did not think to mark a bookmark, a freaking article on it, even though at some point my RSS feed was nothing but pictures of the controller. But we can still talk about it in the general sense of how we
The
feel
Yeah,
about
I
it.
mean, I can bring it up here because I think I already have a link to it. It's called First off, it's called the Dualsense. Introducing the Dualsense, which is a wireless game controller for PlayStation 5. Let's see if it has just a quick bullet points on what it has. Nope, it's got a lot to read.
It has a
uh,
lot to read,
yeah, there's a lot to read
and
here.
we
But
don't like reading.
I mean, personally, no. I like people reading stuff to me, which is why I love audiobooks. Let's take a look here. Okay, the features of the DualSense, along with PlayStation 5 Tempest 3D audio tech, will deliver a new feeling of immersion for players. 3D audio tech, we actually heard that before. I think we heard that in the
The
conference with
reveal.
the
Yeah,
reveal. Um, there's just a lot. It's all. It's. I really wish they had bullet points, but overall, the point is the main thing is they didn't lose a share button. It's called something else, but it's very
the
similar.
create button.
The create button. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the create button, but
I know. I don't
um,
know. I don't know what that means, except for the possibilities of what that could mean.
mhm.
Excite me if true. Right now there is there's a technology actually from Nvidia on PC. I completely blanked out in the name of on the name of it, unfortunately. But it, I want to say it's Ansel. But basically, what it lets you
Oh,
do
okay.
what else you do is you can pause the game, and without the particular game itself having the option program into its code, it lets you manipulate the camera and move it around,
Okay.
and position, especially for when you are creating when you want to take good screenshots, but the game doesn't have a photo mode, but you wish it had because suddenly this area is so beautiful, very beautiful. It's a little bit more than what I'm describing, but I'm just remembering the the possibilities of creating stuff with the photo mode, on any game,
Hmm. Yeah.
and that's very good for people that like to create content, or even machinima or stuff like that in general.
Hmm.
Like that is actually a little bit more exciting than just the plain old screenshot or video. If suddenly you could actually manipulate that screenshot in a way that make things look cool. I believe there are settings that you can play, that you can stylize. Your
I'm glad they. I'm glad. Here's a couple. I was trying to find some actual bullet points
uh,
on here, but so they've adopted haptic feedback. They've also put in the adaptive triggers, which is actually something I think Xbox already has on their Elite controller, uh,
mhm.
or maybe even their standard controller. They are bringing back the touchpad, which is also puts as a button. The light bar for the sensor to pick up on VR or whatever for motion and all that. It's not on the top of the thing. It's now on the front of it at the sides of the touchpad, which is interesting. I would want to see it in motion and see how that looks and feels
Actually,
before.
I think it's more than I don't think, like, obviously, Sony is not abandoning VR.
No.
If anything, they could be expanding it. I think what this really means is not necessarily that you'll be able to use your gamepad, that you need. They're basically taking away the idea of, well, let's use the gamepad as a move controller, and
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
know,
That's what exactly what it is.
it'll be very hard to read the little corners of it. I think that's just there for aesthetics now, and no
No,
longer
I know,
for
but
the.
the one of the complaints early on with the DualShock 4 was that light reflecting off of the TV you're
Oh,
playing
right.
on or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So now obviously
Yeah,
it won't be because it won't be on that end, but it'll be on the end that you're staring down at, if you're staring at your controller, whatever the
yeah,
case may
yeah,
be.
yeah.
But
But you
I
don't.
don't I
Well,
don't know what the yeah, I don't know how bright that's going to go. I don't know if I also don't know. They said that the battery life obviously is going to be much better, but how much better, considering you still have this thing that may be draining the life on it. So it's interesting. Overall, though, I think it looks really really nice. Uh,
well,
I like the black and white. Look too
the
good.
dual tone. Well, hold on. Before we continue, because you really let me finish my
Oh,
thought.
sorry, sorry, sorry,
What I
sorry,
was
sorry.
gonna say is that as far as the VR comes, this is a very good opportunity for Sony to perhaps uh, use a different interface for controlling VR. Maybe something along the lines to what
Valve,
Oculus is
Valve.
using, where they're actually they're letting you use like your your fingers, those
Okay.
those type of controllers that are like that. That'll be very exciting to see. We don't have to rely on the outdated move
Move
controller
controllers. Yeah.
anymore. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. That okay, this could actually mean that. Also, the the now that we're going to talk about the color and the design
Looking.
language, I feel like the whole design language of it gives me a lot more hope on what that fucking console might end up looking like, and it puts my mind more at ease that it's not going to look like the freaking train wreck that we were thinking it was actually. That V-shaped like madness thing of like, what the hell. I didn't think it was gonna be that, because I always, I not always, but I understood that the reason why they have it said that they had it created like that was so that developer could stack development kits on top of each other and still have some airflow going into the system, which is actually quite smart
Hmm.
when you consider when you have that V-shaped thing. But I certainly did not want the actual console to be that weird shape. And looking at by just the look of the gamepad, it puts my mind more at ease with, well, I like the dual tone. I love the dual tone. A lot of people are complaining that, oh, well, it's not black, and I feel like, well, it's always been black. It's always been the same, the same color. And don't get me wrong, you will get your black color. Don't you
Oh
worry.
yeah,
It's
for
gonna be
sure.
they're gonna have it there, and But I feel like this is a lot more exciting to see than another fucking black controller. If you
Hmm.
want a black controller, Microsoft has a black controller for you. you know.
Wow.
Uh,
I saw that post.
yeah. It's not, dude, because I was getting, because if anything, as of late, I feel like the narrative, I was a little concerned. Remember that I told you this about people are not focusing on the actual merits of the design of the specs of the system. For those that know the specs, they're focusing on, oh well, it's in all the other ways is inferior to what the Microsoft consoles is it's getting for the next generation. It's like, yeah, no, actually, it is and it isn't. It does have it where it needs, where it really needs it, and and when you see the this controller design, like, it makes me think like, okay, I feel like Sony has it. Yeah, you don't have to worry. They get it. They definitely need something different. Something. Not that obviously the PlayStation 4 was excited. Obviously, you have the 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 fan base is gonna be, it's gonna be there. Sony's fan
Hmm.
base, it's extraordinaire. But it's not gonna be another black box. Just like Xbox is not just another black box, even though it is literally a black box.
It is.
uh, it is, but at least they took some liberties with the form. It's not the typical, it's definitely looks different. I feel like Sony's console might actually be going, that route, hopefully. And dude, it looks like something I definitely will love to feature on my entertainment center. You know what I mean?
Hmm. I got
Uh,
you.
those that look. I was quite happy with what they did. I definitely looking forward. Definitely more amped up for this next
Amped up
generation.
for
Yeah. Oh
it.
yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Day zero.
Okay.
They already have my money. I already paid them. They just don't know it yet.
Day 0. So
You're
the
sending me
day
a review of your name?
before it releases.
Day 1. Well, we still need to see the game, so who knows?
Exactly. All right, guys.
Thank
I
you.
don't have any other news. Did you have
Nope.
anything?
Let's wrap it up because I hear the twin of I think that might be Chaos Reaper like knocking furiously on the door, and
I
we,
believe you're right.
we don't want to get him angry, so
All right,
let's
all right.
let's reconvene and we'll have the trio, and we'll be back with our hot topic of the week.
Welcome back, everybody. Here we are. We're about to start our hot topic of the week.
Hot topic! Woo!
And I made it. Yes, I made it. I could not host the whole episode. I got here late, but this is the one, the only Chaos Reaper reporting in, gentlemen.
Welcome back.
Love
sir.
it.
But
Yes,
I did not
sir.
want to let Mad Dog down, that I wanted to host at least something of this episode. And just completely unexpectedly started just talking randomly into the mic. Now,
I love it because I wasn't expecting it either. I completely forgot about that portion.
now,
So well done. You redeemed
Well
yourself, sir.
Well,
I had to do it. I honestly thought about it on the drive from my new job. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. Just fuck it. Just go ahead and just start it off in that dead silence that we give that little pause. Just go
Just
for
get
it.
them by surprise.
Yes. So just real quick, just real quick, since I wasn't here for the previous parts of the episode.
Oh, don't worry. We're gonna insert you in. So go ahead.
Well, I just want to say what I've been up to in the week. I've watched some anime. I've been watching Hunter x Hunter on Crunchyroll, which I recently, I think I said it in the last episode. I don't remember right now. That I just found out that it's free. There's not the subscription is completely optional.
Oh yeah, you told us. Yeah, that is.
I didn't know that. So
I support it.
Yeah, so I've been watching Hunter x Hunter on that. Honestly, that's all I watched this week, I believe. I've been playing a lot of God of War.
Yes, you did.
Yes.
Oh, so you took heed. You listened.
My friend, as soon as the episode was over, I left the PlayStation installing the game.
Nice.
So I started that. I'm pretty far into it. I finally defeated the 8th Valkyrie that I was missing, which was the one in Niflheim.
mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, I know Sparrow told me there was a way to beat it without having the mist bother you at all. But since I didn't find a way to shut off the mist, I just went like, fuck it. Let's fight it in the middle of this mist.
Nice.
And so I did, and I prevailed. I did get the full mist armor to reduce the effect of the mist. I also had an enchantment for it. I had the pummel for the axe. Just let me tell you, I spent hours in Niflheim just farming the mist echo bullshit.
The mist echo bullshit.
Yeah. Oh, it wasn't too bad once you reduce the effect of the armor, that you can actually like farm the entire place in one run. You get enough that the grind is not that bad. But it got on my nerve. I got on my nerves after a while. Even after I opened all 3 realm tears that you're supposed to complete a favor, which favors equal side quest.
Yes.
Yeah, I still have to farm a couple dozen thousands of it for gear upgrades. I think I may be up to like 80% of completion of the game, but I think the game counts everything, like all the favors and all the collectibles. I don't know how far into the story I am, but let's just say that I'm up to 80% of the game.
Wow, that game did not have a chance with you.
No, I will admit though, I am playing it on normal. I didn't because it's my first playthrough. I usually
Yeah,
like
yeah,
to
yeah.
play my
Don't
games on
kill
normal.
yourself.
I don't, I don't have that need of like, oh, the hardest difficulty. Like maybe later on, I'll grow the same set of balls that Sparrow Wolf has to tackle these Valkyries and give me God of War. I will. The Valkyries are annoying. Yes, I have heard a lot of stories about these
A little
Valkyries.
bit.
I know more than one person that didn't even attempt it, the Valkyries in their playthrough, and I can see why. You have to learn their patterns. Some of them are not so bad, and others are that shit. And I am currently attempting to beat the Queen of the Valkyries, which
The
is
Queen Valkyrie. Mm-hmm.
yeah, which I
She's,
I was trying
she's
that
a
today.
pain in the ass.
She is. She decidedly is. She definitely is. But what really pissed me off was that I got her down to the lowest portion of her health, and then suddenly it wasn't moving anymore, and that pissed me off. Like, are you really gonna give me something different to do? Like, do I have some specific action that I have to complete? Like, what do you want from me, game? So, but I know that at some point I will persevere. Her patterns, it's really not that bad. Especially after fighting all the old Valkyries, you just gotta. Oh god, fuck that shit.
So how do you feel? How do you feel about, like, in general, about the game? Because I was a little, well, not super concerned, because this game is what it is, and it is a masterfully beautiful, awesome game.
It's a
But
masterpiece.
we were. My yeah, I want to get like your impression after, because you heard us praise it to all
It
heavens.
lived up to it and more.
Oh, okay,
Mm,
awesome! I'm so glad. I'm
nice.
It
so
lived
glad
up
you
to it.
enjoyed it.
I mean, the character development, how they develop Kratos in this game alone,
It's
it's more
ridiculous.
than all of the other games combined.
I wholeheartedly agree with you.
Okay. I'm just gonna shout out. I'm just gonna call out a bit of a spoiler warning here for a game that's how old is this game already?
Not
2 years.
that long.
2 years, right?
2018.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Just slight spoilers here, but that moment when he asked Freya for help and the look on his face and the emotion of his words,
Mhm.
holy shit!
That's not him. That, I
That's
mean, in the sense
no.
of, you don't see that side of Kratos
Right, that's not something that's
ever.
just the normal of him, and
Yeah,
Mhm.
not to not that just he said it. It's that he meant it. Like the
yeah,
emotional weight of the words as he spoke them. I was like, God, this is just absolutely amazing.
It
And
it drew. It's one of those things where it only exists and it only means something when you know his history,
oh
because
yes,
it's Atreus. It's his newest son. He's already lost his wife and daughter from
from
the
his first
Greek from
marriage,
the
let's just
first
say.
marriage. Yeah, his wife here passed away, and this is it. And he is at his wits end, because he's just like, I cannot go through this again. You know what I mean? That's the look in his eye, but he doesn't say it the way I'm saying it. He just says it in these few choice words. You can see the heaviness in his eyes. Oh, it's
Yeah,
ridiculously well done.
and you know what's the best part? He quite literally goes to hell and back for him for his son.
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
He
You
always
said
goes
it.
to hell.
No, well, I mean, the very next step, it's like you got to go to Helheim and get somebody's heart. Okay, I'll
Done.
be right back.
Yeah. Oh
So
man, I'm so
that
glad
was
to hear that.
that for me. That was one of the best moments. The
Indeed.
other one is Atreyu's character development is really good. It's
Hmm.
so
Yes.
good. From again, I'm still running on this spoiler warning. From when you start the game, his curiosity, how he treats others, and then suddenly he learns he's a god, and suddenly he becomes this dick that you just want to kick in the face
Wouldn't
so hard.
you? At some point, you gotta think like, yeah, he's fuck that guy, but yeah, I probably would have ended up being the same way if I found out that I was a freaking god.
I mean, A lot of the time I was like, why is Kratos like letting this go? Like, are you not gonna say something? Like, slap the shit out of him, man.
I know, just slap the good hood out of him.
Yeah. Holy shit. I would have just said, like, listen, kid, you're like 1/4 God, all right? Chill the fuck out.
Oh man. It's so good.
But honestly, when he gets his blades again, that he says, you know, he's going to hell because he has to get the gatekeeper's heart. And, you know, they tell him, like, listen, you know, the Hellwalkers are not affected by your axe. What are you going to do? I just got to go and unbury my past, basically. You know, something that I buried and I didn't want to bring out again. I'm going to go get it. And then he grabs those blades and like, oh my God, yes. By the way, I rarely use the axe anymore.
The axe, I still love it. It's still
I was gonna
such
say
a satisfying weapon to use.
Oh yeah,
but yeah,
that cleave that he has, where you hold R2 and he just like he kind of like charges it, and if you kill the enemy with it, he does an animation, usually with the Dragor, which I hope I said that right. He there's a couple of animations. If you do it from behind, he will actually cut off the dude's head.
Yeah,
or he'll like chop in the like from the shoulder to the chest. He'll chop it again and like cut him off. Like, God,
it's amazing.
Damn.
Oh yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I'm not saying that the axe it's not great. It is. It just it's the Blades of Chaos, bro. Fuck that.
There's a game that deserves replay again.
It definitely,
I agree.
yes, it definitely has a high level of replayability just because of the story alone. Just because it'd be amazing to see it again. So honestly, I can't wait until I finish this game. I do have the money to get the digital version of Final Fantasy VII, which is the only thing I'll be able to get at this moment, sadly. But even when I do buy it, and I probably won't be able to download it yet because I probably don't have enough space on my PlayStation for it. But even if I could, I want to finish God of War before I tackle Final Fantasy. That's how good God of War is. That listen, I've waited, and I know. I think it was Sparrow that said that he's waited 20 years for this remake. I agree. I can wait. I can wait a little bit more, especially if I already have it.
Yeah.
I don't have that waiting. Like, oh my God, what is he ever gonna? No. I already have it. I can't wait to play it because I want to finish I want to finish Kratos and Atreus' story.
Yeah,
nice.
That's
shit, it deserves it.
It definitely does.
That's a good choice.
I would say probably, and at some point we could probably talk about it in a hot topic, but probably one of the best games of this generation. That needs to be on the talks. It needs to be there.
Yeah, I concur.
All right, so that pretty much because I think the only thing other than that I played was Monster Hunter World for a fraction.
We'll say goodbye.
Yeah, I haven't touched Apex. I haven't even looked at Warframe. It was God of War and Reckless and Dark pulled me to Monster Hunter World for like a couple of hours, and that was about it. All I played is God of War, and I was. By the way, I've heard so much of the Valkyries that I purposely look for them. I think the second one I fought had a purple bar. I'm like, I'm not gonna stop until I beat this bitch, which I did. It was horrifying. I died so many times, but I got her pattern down. You know, like I knew what she was gonna do, like which side to dodge, because you can't just dodge with like willy-nilly. They do this one move where they charge and they attack with their right hand and their right wing. So if you dodge to your left, you get hit. So you got to dodge to your right to dodge it entirely.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, dude, that's I had to nail this down to basically a science to get through it. And that's one of my main problems with Stigorn is that I'm trying to overpower her through all my skills and shit, and it gets me only so far. You have to be patient with them.
Yeah.
And since I've actually gotten so strong that even one of the Valkyries was like had a green bar. I'm like, oh, I'm about to body this bitch.
By the way, I love the fact that this game had made such an impact that we went full circle through. Oh yeah, and I played Monster Hunter. So anyway, this it was like, yes, mission accomplished.
Oh yeah, there is an event for Monster Hunter World up right now. To whomever is interested, if for whatever reason you're not playing Final Fantasy VII Remake, there is an event for Monster Hunter World Iceborne right now, which I don't know how long. I don't know if I'll be able to partake in it much, but it is there. Oh, yeah, pretty much that's about it for my week. So, gentlemen, onto the hot topic.
Hot topic.
Yeah, I'm not fully aware of what the title is, but enemies that ruin games. Yeah, I just looked it up. I don't care. Judge me all you want. Enemies that ruin games.
Nice.
So,
nice save, sir.
Yes, yeah, I got this, man. I got this. I'm winging the shit out of this. Okay.
Oh, hey, you're doing phenomenal.
All right, so I'm gonna be honest about this. I'm going to let Mad Dogs explain this because I have my thoughts about it that I didn't share with you guys when you asked for it because you guys kind of like mentioned it and then Dream agreed and I was like, oh fuck it, let's run with it.
No, definitely. So what it is essentially, again, it's just enemies within a game that feel like they just don't fit in or they just ruin an experience. Maybe not ruin the whole game, but man, they teeter that line to ruin the game, or in some cases maybe they do, because if you have one that you feel I couldn't fucking continue this game because fuck this particular enemy, sure, obviously that's an example of one that did ruin a game. Obviously this doesn't mean that the games end up being bad because of it. It really is more focused on these particular enemy types. And to give you an example, I'm going to go ahead and start with an example of one of mine. So since Final Fantasy is in the minds of everyone, there is a mainstay of Final Fantasy enemies that keeps coming back, and I don't know if it's going to be Final Fantasy VII Remake. That said, if it's not there, it's going to be missing because it really should be in there.
Can I take a wild guess?
Sure.
Is it the Tomberry?
No. Oh. I know the Tomberry. Tomberry is also pretty annoying. But this particular, I wouldn't
say that it ruins the game.
Yeah, because Tomberry is one of those that you almost... it's in certain areas that you can almost go the game and never actually run into one.
That's true.
However, the Marlboro is fucking annoying. Okay. Screw that freaking ugly ass plant piece of shit, whatever it is supposed to be.
Yeah. Okay.
You just lowered my list by one, and
it's okay.
And it's all right. You are the annoying enemy because you're one of my Marlboro was gonna be my selection as well.
That's fine. It's okay. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
How freaking annoying a Marlboro is. So, for those who don't know, first off, count your lucky stars. You have no idea who the hell Marlboro is, but it is an enemy that in Final Fantasy that can literally, I mean, in one move, the bad breath can literally change the freaking outcome of a fight. I mean, and it's usually like a random fight. It's not even it's not like it's a boss fight,
although it had boss or an elite enemy.
Yeah.
No. It's just a regular willy-nilly enemy. Here you go.
I think he was a boss in Final Fantasy Final Fantasy IX, but neither one.
He was used as a boss. It was used as a boss on more than one occasion, I believe. But
and this is, by the way, this is going as far back as Final Fantasy 1.
Yeah,
I think you're right. Yeah, it
and his
gives you
name. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was just say that what it does, it just gives you a million status effects all at once,
Yeah.
and no matter what you do, there's no charm, there's no pendant, there's nothing that can protect you from every status effect. So you're gonna get hit with
Whoa,
something.
whoa, whoa, whoa,
Uh,
whoa! Don't you remember the ribbon accessory from Final Fantasy VII?
the the ribbon, was it?
Yeah.
Wait, did it protect you from everything? Everything though?
I don't. You know what? You're making me question it now.
Because it would also cast Toad on you. It would also cast. I mean, it
Yeah,
was
it
just
was
this
the list
plethora of.
was not limited to just like it was sleep, confusion,
Oh
blind,
my god!
obviously poison because why not? What was it? It
Poison
was
actually the one that makes sense for that freaking character.
right.
Everything else never did.
I mean,
Toad,
it would do
Toad.
everything.
Also,
Toad,
let's not
small.
forget.
It was
Let's not,
definitely. I remember Toad and Small.
let's not forget the name of the character is Marlboro, as in the cigarettes, but with a slightly variation of the spelling.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And his
I was
attack is
wondering
bad
what
breath.
that actually meant. Let me look it up.
Yeah,
'Cause
it's
that
well, it's
could
a
have.
brand. It's a Marlboro brand. It's a pun on the Marlboro brand.
Is it really?
it has to be.
Yeah,
It has to be. It's the only thing that makes sense. Only the difference is the R's missing the R's. Marlboro
no, right, exactly. Yeah,
is the cigarette, and Marlboro is the enemy.
his
But
attack is
yes,
bad breath. Come
and he attacks his
on,
bad breath on top
come
of it,
on.
which is this cloud of black smoke. You know what I mean? So
Exactly. I mean, you don't
it's
have to
kind of on the nose, yeah.
Wikipedia this one.
But yes, easily again it doesn't completely ruin the game, but let me tell you, it can ruin an area because it's like you're just running into nothing but these enemies, and you're like, oh my god, I just wasted all my antidotes on the last fight. Now I gotta freaking go through it with this one. So Dreamy, I guess I'll throw it off to you. But what are your thoughts on Marlboro? Because it's
Wow,
clearly on your
I
list.
see. I know it was. Well, you just mentioned it. It's the fact that you get status effect from everything, and I want to say that there's an elixir or there's something that you take and it takes it away, so you can actually like knock most, if not all, of the statuses away. But it's one of those things that you want to save, that you don't want to
Mhm.
waste, and it's annoying as hell to encounter one. But that said, I will be extremely disappointed not to see him here, just because uh, you don't want to, it's he's been a staple of every
All right, so
Final game
I'm
as far
looking
as I
here, and
know.
I don't know about Final Fantasy One, but it says appearances Final Fantasy Two,
Okay.
2, 4, 4 after years, 6, 7, and
8, 9, 10,
obviously
11,
what's
12.
in 8. I remember it in 8, 9, 10. Holy shit, that looks disgusting. Have you seen it in 14? God damn it, that shit in 14 is ridiculous. But it's actually not that bad. In 14, they're not that bad.
They can't. Yeah, they don't want to make it.
Because obviously it's not turn based, so their bad breath attack is just clone AoE. They just kind of like move to the
Yeah.
side, but don't get hit. If you get hit, yes,
Te jodiste.
yeah, there you go. Long list of shit. Healer, a tsunami.
Tsunami. A tsunami. Want me to go into the next one?
Yeah, man.
All right, all right. So I'm gonna start with the heavy hitters because I don't want I don't run the risk again of getting it taken.
Okay.
So this is and I mentioned it at the beginning. This is not particularly a list of, when we say enemies that ruin the game. At least my list is ruined it for me, not necessarily ruins the game, because the game wouldn't be the type of game it is if it didn't have it.
I already know where you're going
So
with this, but go ahead.
you know exactly where I'm going with this motherfucker. It's stupid goddamn Mr. X in Resident Evil 2.
Oh god.
Fuck that guy, and again, fuck that guy for completely ruining this awesome game that I was enjoying up to that part. Once he's there, my enjoyment went out of the window, like so much that I always said, "Oh, I know I have to beat it. I know I'm gonna go back. I'm never gonna go back. I at this point in time, I just don't care about the game enough. The thing that I was getting from Resident Evil 2 remake, and fuck me for believing, for having fun with this, was the exploration aspect of it. I did like, going through the different rooms and finding out the stuff that I need for to open the next room, and along the way battling enemies that were annoying, sometimes scary, but they were you can you can work your way with them. You could you had there was some skill involved in getting rid of them or getting past them or whatever. Here comes Capcom and puts a fucking enemy that you can't stop them with
You
anything.
can't.
I mean,
You can't
temporarily.
technically. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Temporarily, sure. Wow. You can. No matter what weapons you have, temporarily you stop them. Because of course they have to have. They have to have. You can't go through the police station, in peace, looking for stuff or whatever. Because here, the music is changing. That means that fucker is gonna appear somewhere. And yes, he's mad slow and whatever. But have you in? It takes you in a corner, and then he fucks you up, and then it's game over from there. And the only way, I love the explanation that everybody gives me is like, well, he's easy because you can cheese him through it. You can cheese him. Well,
Have you
there lies
tried
the
not cornering
fundament.
yourself?
There lies the fundamental problem with the game. That if you need to cheese the game in order to continue the enjoyment of it, then obviously there is a problem. And again, this is my opinion only. I realize that this is a important character, quote unquote, of the Resident Evil, 2 universe or whatever, and whoopie doo. But I just hated that guy. I just fucking hated him.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I can definitely say that I died more to Nemesis than I died to Mr. X.
Okay, good.
Wow.
I did. I mean, I beat the game, but
There
but
you
no,
go.
it's
Like somebody
I
around here with Resident Evil 2.
so
Oh, I'm sorry.
it's
I don't like to
definitely
play bad games. I'm sorry.
so it's no. I
Fuck
can
me for
definitely
having fun with exploration. Capcom evidently didn't want me to do that. He wanted me.
oh
They wanted
no.
me to just be scared.
Wait. What makes it in how, in what way, form, or shape is Resident Evil 2 supposed to be enjoyable when it's supposed to scare the shit out of you from beginning to end?
In the fact that it's games, and if I don't enjoy what I'm playing,
Yeah,
what am I
but
playing
that's
it?
like saying that you enjoyed a horror movie. If you
People
enjoyed a
enjoy horror
movie,
movies.
if you enjoy a horror movie, it's
If
because
you like something, you
if
enjoy
you
it.
enjoy a horror movie, it's because it scared the shit out of you. Because if a horror movie or a scare
Like
movie
Hereditary.
doesn't scare,
Yeah, like Hereditary. I don't like horror movies. Hereditary was scary shit, but I really liked it.
I would never watch it
I
again.
enjoyed it.
But
I never watched it again. No, fuck that, fuck that. But I enjoyed it when I saw it.
yeah, I agree.
It was
Alright,
I
actually
agree.
a very good movie.
all right, this is.
Uh,
I'm gonna take up the next entry, but I
Yeah,
want
man.
to preface it with this. I had a hard time thinking about this hot topic because I don't find any particular enemy to ruin the experience for me, because I find every enemy simply as a challenge to be overcome. Right,
but that's how good you are.
regardless of how bad or annoying they may be. I see them all, and I find that each game will give me the tools to make any particular enemy my bitch. Right? It's just a matter of, as Dream so eloquently put it, getting good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Since he started with a heavy hitter, I'm gonna start with my absolute worst nightmare. In this small little game called Star Ocean Till the End of Time, which I'm
Oh,
pretty
wow.
sure the name is longer than the amount of people that know about this game.
Hey, I know about that game. I played that game.
Oh, really? Did you finish it?
No, not the completion.
Okay,
It's boring.
Jesus Christ. What?
I
You take that back, sir.
Dude, that's the one with the little girl character that she's like annoying as hell. I couldn't pass it. I couldn't pass it. She was
I don't
annoying.
know, maybe, but
Yeah,
not,
it's
not
anime,
my,
so
yeah,
it
I
has to
mean,
have a
I
little
love
girl that is 100,000 years old.
I love that game. All right, I spent hundreds of hours in this game, and
All
there
right, yeah.
I went as far as doing the optional battles. There was this tower with I don't know how many hundreds of floors. I grinded. I
Holy
mean, of
shit.
course, at this point, I was in school and I had nothing else to do because who the fuck studies at home? Psh, get the fuck out of here. My book bag was closed from 3 p.m. until 8 a.m. the next morning. I was grinding away in this game, and I went through the optional boss battles, which some of them were enemies from. Oh, what's the name of this game that Trius also makes? With the Valkyries, oddly enough, Valkyrie something.
Valkyrie
Yeah,
profile.
Valkyrie profile.
Valkyrie
I had some
profile.
Valkyrie profile enemies, characters, which was Christ, which I think that's what it's pronounced. It's spelled Hrist.
Mm.
It was Christ and. Which she was a Valkyrie, right? Oddly enough, I've spoken so much about Valkyries today, and the amount of time I've been here.
That's odd.
And there was Freya. Freya was in this game,
Oh.
and I had the strategy guide for this game.
Oh.
And I got as ready as I could, right? I didn't follow the strategy guide how it told me to beat Freya. I found this because you could craft in this game, and there was this item that gave me a 50-50 shot of not taking HP or MP damage. I'm like, holy shit, this is amazing. Yeah, right, because there was MP death. You could kill an enemy or you could die if you hit 0 MP. Okay? And so I was like, this is amazing. So out of my 3 characters, only one had the build that the strategy guy was telling me to do, which was using this boots of whatever that increase your HP and MP. I don't know. Some fucking I think
that was exactly what they call the boots of whatever.
I don't know if it was like the boots of destiny or something. Whatever it was an item that was super hard to make, and you were supposed to like make a shit ton of them for all your characters. I only did it for one, and then I did the other one that had a 50-50 chance of not taking any damage. Had a 50% chance of not taking any HP or MP damage, right? And I go against Freya, and she obliterated me.
Wow.
Over and over and over. Hell, Fate is the name of the main character. Had this attack called Ethereal Blast, which was his last attack. He would the animation was pretty long. He would like jump up and get this pair of white wings, and he would basically do a Kamehameha beam on the floor, and then like do this giant AoE damage. It was a super powerful move. So I did that move against Freya, right? And oddly enough, I'm not even the only one that actually experienced this. I have a friend who went through the exact same thing because Freya is just that cold-blooded, right? Like the move does multiple hits, and every hit was 99,900. I was 9,999, right? I don't think you broke that limit in that game. And I did it in her face. She took every single hit. She just stood there. She didn't even attack. She just stood there and watched my character jump into the air, charge it, and fucking threw it in her face. And as soon as he was done, then my character starts going down. She jumps in front of my face. She goes into the air, charges. I don't know what it was called, but it was basically the same move. And then she threw it in my face and fucking murdered me.
I'm actually, I was just checking out a video of it. It was, I don't think so. Is it mandatory?
No. This is an optional boss.
Oh, okay.
And this is on normal difficulty because the game had multiple like higher difficulties up to like 4D difficulty, which was the highest one, and it will multiply their health by I don't know how much.
Damn.
See, the thing is, you were supposed to use like these items that would stun her, but you could only carry 10 of them.
Oh, that
But you can
wasn't
only carry
enough.
10?
Yeah, you
Damn.
can only carry 10 of those items. So you had to make it count and beat her within those 10 items because holy shit, buddy. Yeah, the 50-50 shit didn't work. All right. That shit went out the window quick. Because it was Cliff and I can't remember the name of the edgy character. Kane? Abel. It was like Abel or some shit like that. I remember because it was, anyways. I love that character, but him and Cliff, they just got decimated. So it's just literally 1v1 Fate versus Freya.
So
Good lord.
would it ruin a game if it's an optional enemy? Because I feel like I could have actually triplicated. Yes, I'm using that word again.
Here we
My
go again.
list with a bunch of enemies that I find annoyingly challenging, almost surprisingly so. But because they're not, they're like optional. They're like challenging modes
Well,
basically, and
yeah,
I don't
it's
have to take them.
optional,
It does. It lets me finish the game.
but like I said, it's a challenge that I took that I could never ever finish.
I
Listen,
guess to you that's huge because you will take on those challenges. You
oh
will
yeah,
not. You're a completionist. You will not consider a game done until
oh,
every
like I
enemy
said,
has been
that
defeated.
haunts my memories.
You
Listen,
are the
you're
Reaper.
talking to someone who sat down in Final Fantasy 12 for 5 hours. I fought Yasmat for 5 straight hours.
Damn, bro.
And I killed him. And he's completely optional, right? This is just the very last hunt of the game that gives
Yeah,
you the strongest weapon that's utter and complete fucking garbage,
yeah.
right? Because I mean, what are you? Anyways, and I took on Freya, and I could not over. I couldn't. Yes, I know that I strayed from the strategy that the book was giving me, but I did that on purpose. But apparently,
Yeah.
that was the only fucking way of getting this bitch.
There's a reason why they made that strategy guide with that particular method.
So you know what it is. Even though I've owned my fair share of strategy guides, I usually read them for the lore
I used to be like that too. I used to
more than the
buy them for
strategy of
that.
it because I
I
always come
still
up
own
with
a
my own
few.
shit. And at that point in time, I had one mentality in RPGs:
Yeah,
pure brute force.
yeah. That's
There,
why you always
I,
always grinding so much.
yeah, I was always hell. In Final Fantasy VII, in the original one, there was an enemy that dropped the power source item that would increase your attack power by 1. I farmed that bitch until Vincent Valentine had 99 attack.
Yeah. Damn.
Okay. Yes, I
All
had
right.
that one. So all I wanted to do was power through every single enemy, and Freya just said like, "Bitch, no,
Said nope, you're not
Yeah.
powering through me. Damn.
no,"
I
and
I,
yeah,
I did check out a video here. The HP in that game went into the tens of thousands. I
yeah,
mean, that was something serious.
yeah.
So
That's an
wow,
encounter.
that's an encounter. Yeah. I don't have anything that's serious. But I still have some annoying fucking characters.
I still
I'm
have
just
at
gonna
least
go.
one more.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a more recent character, which or characters, shall we call it? The BTs of Death Stranding.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that
those
was
things
annoying.
were freaking annoying. I
Yes.
I
honestly,
have
it was
no
one of
horse on this race.
Yeah.
I so BT's short for beached things for the record. Um, they
As everybody
it,
knows.
as everybody should know, as common knowledge there is, but
Yeah.
um, so the there was these invisible. I don't even know. It's just like
Entities. That's all.
entities, all right. And if they caught up to you, it would cause this massive fight that was not necessary. You could literally run away as long as you run to the edge of the area, but it was just annoying, and I would literally avoid it because you got nothing from it. Nothing was ever gained from doing it other than being
Mhm.
annoyed and being held down and all I was trying to do was just get past an area. So I never feared them. Like maybe in the beginning, the first few, I was like, "Oh, this is some creepy ass shit." You know what I mean? But afterward, I just found them to be an annoyance.
That's it.
And
That's the thing. They never do anything particular to make you be scared, other than, oh, if you touch, if we get close, we're just gonna throw you into this annoying part of the game for like a little bit, and we're gonna throw your deliveries out, and
well,
that's it.
to be
They're just
fair,
annoying.
there is a there's something that can happen if your character dies in that fight. The explosion, and that did happen in my playthrough. And I realized, and an area of the map suddenly became inhabitable because of a massive crater, just like the one in the very beginning. So imagine that happening throughout the game.
What
It's
the fuck? You for
you know what I'm
real?
saying?
Yeah, that
Yeah, the
happened,
lore behind it is crazy. But so
to say the least.
yeah, exactly. So when I realized that, it became even more annoying because obviously I don't want to wipe out a large part of the map. So again, it became. I know the purpose behind it is to add some sort of suspense and some sort of anxiety and all that stuff, but it just became annoying to the point where I just want to get past this, and eventually it becomes much easier with the bombs and stuff like that. You can just take out the BTS, but
With the
still,
PP and poo poo bombs.
yeah, basically, and that's not even a lie. Yes, the those are
With the
exactly,
literal the bombs of shit in the
or
most
blood
literal
bombs,
sense.
or the blood
Or
bombs.
the
Yeah.
blood bombs, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The
So
fecal
yeah,
matter shit. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
the BTS
Yeah, the BT.
definitely make this annoying fucking enemy list. That's for sure.
All right, that's good. That's good. I'm gonna bring it. I'm gonna keep it on the Kojima
Oh, here
front.
we go.
And you might not remember this enemy, but when you encounter it, they are hella annoying. And that is in Metal Gear Solid 5, when you
Metal Gear
get to the
Solid
part
5.
of having to deal with the parasites, which are basically
Oh yeah,
humanoid.
that was creepy as shit.
Can't call them. Yeah, but they were annoying to it because
Yeah, that's
they
true.
were almost indestructible. Almost,
Almost.
at least trying to take them out was a pain in the ass, and it is
What were they
it
called? Parasite.
parasite.
Parasites.
Yeah.
It was like this possessed soldier thing.
Hmm.
Fuck those dudes.
Yeah, it was kind of like yeah, yeah, exactly. It was something like that, and they will be super like their skin will harden, and they'll be very difficult to take down, and there'll be a bunch of them around.
Oh, the skulls. Yes. Okay. 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 Okay.
Oh, that's what they were called. Parasite skulls. Whatever. Those dudes.
Those dudes.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, those dudes. Yeah, man, fuck those dudes.
For
I
real.
know there's actually where and that game to me, even with the incompleteness and with the crazy thing, to me that game was. I still think that game is amazing. I still think what it did. Like I personally feel like it did a lot more than what Death Stranding ended up doing, in my opinion. But even with the incompleteness, but encountering that section where suddenly you have to shit, you gotta stop what almost what you're doing to deal with them was not fun.
Every time the
And
mist settled in, I was like, fuck.
yeah, yeah, yes, exactly, exactly. You had an indication that this was happening, and you're like, okay, no,
Here we go.
here we go. So that's my
All right.
I,
So
I can definitely agree with those.
keeping it on the creepy theme, seems apparently that's what we're doing. You guys remember Resident Evil 4?
I do.
oh yeah, un
Do you,
forastero.
do you remember, by the way, knowing Spanish and playing that game made it
Oh, it's
so
horrible.
easy?
I hate. Yeah, no, it made it annoying. Is what it made
No,
it.
what are
I
you talking
hated
about?
it.
Detrás de ti, imbécil. You turn around and he's like 20 feet away from you, bro. I have
Yeah.
like all this time to shoot you in the face.
Oh,
Thanks for letting me know.
but the Spanish is so terrible. It's so bad. It is. It's not even
Listen,
decent Spaniard.
I mean, the best line was cabrón.
Cabrón. Oh my god. Over and over they get cabrón.
I
It's
know,
like,
I know.
you could tell that it was like some gringo didn't know how to. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
some
White dude.
non-Spanish, no white.
Some
You know,
gringo. Anyway,
I don't.
no.
I hate it. I did not like the Spanish in that. I
The
would say the language is the thing that ruined that game for me.
really, I love that game. But
Oh, I
do
love
you
that
do
game
you
too.
remember the Regenerators?
I don't
They
remember.
they
I
kind of they
barely
kind of
remember
sound like
anything from it.
Oh yes, I do remember
yeah,
those two.
yeah. You remember that, dude,
Yeah,
right? It was creepy
yeah,
as fuck.
yeah. It
It was
was.
it honestly scared the
Yeah, it
shit out of
was.
me when I first encountered that stupid enemy and all those spikes came out of him and I was like, what the fuck? So I bring out my
Yep.
shotgun and blows his leg off and now he starts
Yeah.
fucking skipping off the floor to keep what is
Yeah,
this? Nope.
yeah,
All the no's in the world. And you know what? I would kill for a remake just to see that enemy again because that was horrible.
Just to
Horrible.
see it,
But
in the RE engine. Oh my god,
dude, that
that's
must
a thing of
be
nightmares right there.
yeah, that is some exorcist levels of nightmare fuel. It's horrible.
yeah.
But goddamn,
Oh
I mean, it was they were so
yeah,
annoying because there is a way to kill them. There is a way, and I know there was the way to kill them. You have to freeze them first and or whatever. But fuck those dudes, okay?
yeah, yeah,
I will never
With a
forget how
passion.
they sounded.
yeah.
With a
I
passion. I
agree.
don't even remember. That I'll be down with up for a remake of that game.
I mean, the
I,
first time you
I
got it
would
was
be
like
too.
this laboratory, and all you heard was the sound like off screen, and like, what the fuck is
Yeah,
that?
it's the sound is bad. The and then once
The
that happens, they're
movement.
like all yeah. It's
Oh,
very creepy movement. You know that weird
oh.
creepy movement that you get from. Oh no,
Yeah,
we're
no,
not.
just
Yeah,
Google it.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Uh, the Archvile guys.
Holy shit!
Fuck that guy.
Who? Who?
Serious.
The arch
It's
vile
from
and
from
Doom
Doom.
Eternal from
From
Doom
well,
as
it's not
well,
just
but
from
yeah,
Doom Eternal, but from prior Dooms
yeah,
as well. The one
yeah.
who resurrects, and
The one
then
that powers
shields.
them up,
Yeah,
Oh,
and keeps
yeah.
just
yeah.
summoning demons endlessly.
And then on top
Oh.
of that,
He
for whatever, and
teleports.
yes, he doesn't stay in one spot. I'm like, he moves around. I'm like, and he's like powerful, right? Like you can
Yeah,
unleash hell on him, and he's still
he,
standing there with
and
half
he
his
has
face.
this
I'm like,
this
oh my
flame
god.
shield and shit. Get the fuck out of
Oh,
my
Wow.
face with
it's
that.
honestly that thing rivals the Marauder a little bit, but I think this one is way
Yeah,
more
I can see
knowing in the sense because it just frustrates the hell
it.
because it never fails. Like I come around to take him out. Obviously, he can't be taken out that easily, so you have to unleash it. But while that's happening, guess what's happening? One, he has a shield. He's doing his thing, and every monster in the area that's super powered, it's on their way to you. So before you know it, you're in a
Oh
crowd
shit.
of people. You know
By
what
the
I mean?
way, the way that he buffs them is not just power; it's also speed. So all these monsters are coming at you
Moving
really
fast, yeah.
fucking fast while you're
Which is
trying to take
why,
out this fucking piece of shit.
yep. Which is why he is. I honestly think I would take a Marauder over him.
Now, I wanna give a shout out to Dark Necromancer here real quick. Now that you mentioned Doom Eternal,
Hmm.
because my boy finished Ultra Nightmare.
Oh, he did.
Yes, he
Damn.
has
Wow.
the gold skin for his for his Doom Slayer, which by the way looks completely and utterly disgusting to me.
Yeah, wow. As
Pronounce it.
every gold plated
Yeah,
something tends
and,
Yeah.
to
I've never liked anything gold plated. It looks fucking disgusting. But that's some bragging rights right there, man.
That's for real.
This,
Yeah,
yeah,
true.
That's for real.
he sent me a video, which I find so hilarious that you plastered the Marauder on the hot topic. He sent me a video where he made the first Marauder that he encountered his utter and complete bitch in like 10 seconds.
Damn. Oh, that's impressive.
And Ultra Nightmare. I was like, what in the seven hells, my man? What in the seven hells?
Yeah, that's
But
That's
I
impressive.
wanted
right
to
there.
give him that shout out because in
Nice.
like a week or less, he completed this.
Hmm.
That is some that's some insane levels of skill. He remapped the entire controller so he could never take his thumbs off the joystick, so he can move and aim at all times, whether he's jumping, dashing, shooting, don't matter. That
Yeah.
is that.
Dang.
Oh god damn.
Uh,
So yeah, I just wanted to give him a quick shout out to Dark, who didn't even get a fucking trophy out of this, just a goddamn skin and a title.
well, that's some
That's
might say that's actually more rewarding.
He just wanted the challenge. Well,
Yeah.
he insisted on getting. He says that he loves the gold skin, which fine. I know that some people actually do like gold plated shit. I understand. I completely hate it. The second he showed it to me, like, yo, congratulations, bro. Also, that skin looks disgusting.
Yeah. Oh my.
So yeah,
Oh,
Dream, you got the next one.
all right. So my next one. So I feel like this this particular it shouldn't even be the enemy of this game. It should be the entire fucking game. I'm referring, of course, to XCOM 2. Any enemy on that game, but I'm gonna summarize it to one particular one,
Narrow it down.
which tells you it will tell you why I loathe this game, and I hate the fact that I do because I am an original X well not original remastered. What should I call this?
you're a
2012
fan of
Did he
XCOM.
just
XCOM.
say a longtime player of XCOM?
No, because there is an original XCOM. It's like the Xbox and Xbox One situation where
That's
you don't know
what.
which one the fuck to call the original
Just a
one.
longtime
It's called
player of
XCOM.
longtime
They're
player of
both called
XCOM.
XCOM. That's the
Yo,
thing.
just a
So
longtime player of XCOM. What a veteran?
20,
How about a veteran of XCOM?
you're not understanding. There is an XCOM that I never played that was from like the 80s or something, which was like even harder. And I can't. And that's
I'm
supposed.
trying to
That's
help you.
OG. That's OG. That's OG XCOM. I'm gonna call this one XCOM 2012. Uh, and I love that game. That game was.
XCOM Enemy Unknown is the 2012 one.
Thank you. There you
Yeah.
go. That's easier. Now XCOM 2,
Two.
however, it wanted to. It felt the need to drive everything so much more difficult that to me it kind of broke it into like annoying, not annoying, frustrating game. If we were talking about enjoying a game, and there's a lot of people that will enjoy this level of challenge, and I don't want to take anything away from them. If that is your take, more power to you. But to me, I found this game so uh, uh, difficult. It was very difficult, and it was not. It never felt welcoming. It always felt like you were substantially behind the curve with the enemy. Like substantially so, as in one wrong move could cost you the entire strategy of the game for and then you have to restart that level again. And anyway, but I still powered through it as much as I could until I started facing this type of enemy. They're called the Andromedons, and let me tell you about these fuckers. First of all, there are this huge honking battlesuit wearing aliens that are they're incredibly tough. They almost look like walking mechs almost. They are immune to fire and acid and everything. I think it has poison also. It's immune to any status effect. Uh, he could crash through walls and he will attack you. He will have two types of attack: a melee attack and a range attack, which
Mhm.
with a plasma rifle or a heavy plasma cannon. Sorry, so even worse. You get fucked with a couple of shots if you weren't prepared. And then if you manage to kill the operator of it, the battle suit automatically continues. It'll stand up again and in auto mode, and it will not only just attack you as
What?
deadly as it attacks. Yep, yep. But it also leaves like a trail of like coolant
Hmm.
behind that is also deadly. So
Jesus Christ, are you serious?
it was like this enemy is a big fuck you. and, and one of the reasons why I was like, no, I'm done. Enough. If this is the type of anime I'm finding, like I don't want to continue and find something that is even worse because yes, I'm getting my characters a little bit, also a little bit stronger, but I can lose them at any time. One wrong move and that character is dead, and then I have to start getting rookies again, which of course are rookies without the experience and without their armor and all that could get one shot at easily. I mean, no man, I was like at that point I
Fuck
was
that shit, I'm
completely
out.
done. Yep, completely fuck this shit. I'm out. That's come too.
All right,
It's a shame
so
because I actually have that game and haven't started it yet.
Yeah, you can feel free to skip it.
for my last entry, and I really I try to think of something uh from the past, but God of War, the new God of War,
Hmm.
the Dark Elf Lord or whatever the fuck they're called, the
Oh, I
higher
remember the
ranking
Dark
Dark
Elf.
Elves, fuck those
Hmm.
dudes.
Yes, fuck those dudes.
Fuck those guys. Okay, and it's not even like most of their moveset is whatever. It's the fact that they can blind you. And when I was in Muspelheim doing the challenges, there was one particular challenge that you had to kill this Dark Elf Lord, but if there was any other monster alive, he was unkillable, right? He has this protective shield that you had to kill everything else before you could kill him, and then after you killed everything, after a little while, everything would like some new monsters would respawn. I hated that fight so goddamn much.
The
Oh yeah.
Dark Elves, the Dark Elf King, or just
The
the regular
king,
Dark Elf.
lord, whatever. No, not the regular one. The regular ones are whatever. It's the higher ranking ones. The one that
Hmm.
when they dodge, they leave a bomb that blinds you, then they shoot
Yep.
bombs that blind you, and then whatever the
Yep.
fuck that
Damn.
blinds you.
Yep.
I
I
mean, I
remember that.
learned that you can block it, and that's fine, sure. But suddenly, like you try to instinct because my biggest problem in God of War is that I try to dodge everything. I
Hmm.
I have a hard time blocking shit. Which, by the way, for the
Oh.
Valkyries, I had to learn to block shit because you can't
Yeah,
just
you
dodge
do.
everything. Yeah, you have to block shit.
So blogging or pairing?
No, blocking, like straight up
Blocking.
blocking. Yeah, you can.
Mm.
I guess you can parry it, but blocking it is safer, and you can just counterattack whenever the Valkyrie's done attacking. A lot of the
Yeah,
times you can just attack her, and she gets staggered. But
yeah.
this guy's, oh my god, that was and okay. So they blind you. Now you can't see like your hand in front of your face, and they have unblockable attacks that you don't see coming.
Wow,
Or
wow.
or you're like running around blindly, and they shoot on the floor, and then you run into this fucking bomb, and now you're blinded for even longer time. Oh
Uh,
my god!
that
Please make it stop.
sounds like a fuck this shit. I'm out.
Honestly, I think I had to take a break from that challenge because I was. It pissed me off. It really
Damn.
pissed me off.
I can imagine.
And now
Yes,
every
I
You
time I
remember
see
that.
them, when I was in Niflheim, I found them a couple of times and I hated them. I hated them because then I try to focus them down and then everything else is just interrupting me.
yeah.
Oh, could you just let me kill this little bitch?
I am
That is my
actually
last
ready.
entry.
I'm actually ready to take a trip back down God of War 2018, man. Let me tell you.
I highly
Yeah.
recommend it.
As we, yeah. Uh, my last annoying enemy that did ruin a game. This particular enemy wasn't supposed to be an enemy. It was actually supposed to be a perk, but it ended up being an enemy because
Huh?
it ruined the game for me. The enemy I refer to is the Batmobile in Batman Arkham Knight.
Wah,
Uh, yeah,
wah.
that
Can
Stretching the rules, but
I'm gonna be
I
straight
see.
up honest. Does that even
uh,
count? Does that
I,
even
I will
count?
I will
I
put it
would
just
I
because of
would
how annoying it was. But yeah,
I,
it's
I would
stretching
tell
the
you,
spirit of it.
You're
But
definitely
sure,
stretching.
I'll allow it.
sure,
Thank
sure.
you.
I'll allow it.
I never finished the game because I just got absolutely sick of that stupid thing. It was the most annoying thing. I dreaded every time it was like, oh, hey, you can do this, and you're gonna need your Batmobile to do this. Like,
You're like, ah, no,
no,
that's okay.
You
it's
know,
like, oh my god.
that actually gave
Uh,
me an idea for a hot topic of the week.
uh okay.
Yeah, that's because that's really a feature that has been long asked by fans just to be completely ruined by the developer.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was. And what happens is it was completely overdone. I found it to be. You have to, if you don't do things right the first time, you got to do it over, and that's the most annoying thing.
Mm.
And that's why I say it was an it was an enemy of
It
mine
was an
because
enemy. It was
I
fighting
had to.
against you.
Yes, I was like, no, I just want to see the end of this game, and you know what? I did on YouTube.
You suck.
So
You suck, sir.
okay, hey, so
Hey,
be it.
I had to do the same thing because my particular game, the save got corrupted at the very end. At the very end, after I have beaten the Arkham Knight and got the reveal and all that, and I was just ready to see credits, and I couldn't because the game would not recognize that I was at the end. So I never
That's
got to see it either.
that
So
sucks.
All right,
yeah,
Dream. You
fuck
have
that game.
anything to add?
Yes, actually.
Hit me.
Shout out to the relevance of God of War since we were talking about run of God of Wars.
Ooh, that is very true.
That enemy's good, annoying as fuck. Yeah, let me tell you.
I
But
agree.
game ruining. I wouldn't say that. Yeah, that much
Yeah,
because
they're not game ruining, but they're certainly
no.
infuriating. I
Yeah,
100% agree with that statement.
yeah, they were definitely the piss. But the one enemy that I would say ruined a game for me, and it did so much that it was, I think, the one time in recent history that I rage hard, like hard enough to like literally destroy this game that I just bought. And you guys are gonna laugh because it's gonna be like the stupidest thing. Devil May Cry, the original,
Oh, stop.
Oh
Stop.
had
yeah,
Please go
yeah, you
no
told me that.
further.
a boss, a boss fight, the first boss fight that you can do, had
Phantom?
a stupid. No, I think maybe I'm misremembering, and maybe it is Devil May Cry 2, but it's one of the ones where the first enemy was a giant spider.
Phantom. Devil May Cry 1.
All right,
I believe that was
so
the name of it right now. Shit. Now you're making me
a
question. Let me
spider
Google
named
it.
Phantom. Okay, great. I
Listen,
realized
man. I
that
mean,
maybe there was a strategy to get this character. Maybe there was, and and
yep.
I was
Phantom.
already
I did
I was
not.
already in love with games like Ninja Gaiden and those type of games. Those type of games those character action games. Now we have Devil May Cry and DMC and Devil May Cry 5 and a bunch of others of that nature, which I have enjoyed. Like one of my favorite types. For some
Oh my
ungodly
god.
reason, I could not beat the first boss of that game, and it just infuriated me because here I was with this Dante guy who has gun and he has a sword and he looks all cool and badass, and I am being treated like a bitch
Well,
with
okay.
on the very first boss, and I
Listen.
could not take it. I literally, I grabbed. I it was so infuriating that I grabbed that game while I was still spinning on my PlayStation. I opened that shit, I grabbed it in my hand, and I crushed it. I crushed the CD
Jesus
with my
Christ,
hand.
Dream. What the fuck?
About 2.5 hours or maybe 3 hours after I have actually went to Walmart at like 1 in the morning to buy this game because I wanted to have something different. I wanted to play something
All right,
different.
all right. The first time I played Devil May Cry, which was I think was like the second or third game I owned for the PlayStation 2. You want to know how
Oh,
I
that's right.
beat
That was
him?
PlayStation 2. Sorry. Yeah,
Yeah, it
you're
was
right.
PlayStation 2.
PlayStation 2.
You want to know how
Sorry.
I beat Phantom the very first time, and I still remember
I
this
know you're
because
gonna say you did it super easy. I know it's
oh no no
easy.
no 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 no
That's
no
not
no
the
no.
point.
I died a lot. I died a lot to this stupid fucking spider. I spent an ungodly amount of time just shooting the shit out of it.
Just shooting the shit.
I got tired.
Just
I got
cheating.
tired of trying to hit it with the sword and whatnot. And like, I know the sword does more damage, but it's also way more. I'm just gonna shoot it with my two handguns, ebony and ivory. I press square. So I mean, I mean, later on when I replayed it again, I beat it way easier, way faster. I used the sword and whatnot, and like I knew how to fight it. But the first time. I was like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm just gonna shoot it until it dies.
It was infuriating. Not finding what because I know it's as the first boss, you always find the pattern. It has to have a pattern.
And it
But
does.
for the life of me, maybe I was playing way too late, and in the hours of the morning. But I could not find the pattern. I was pissed off. I wasted my time. I wasted $50 or whatever the hell I ended up paying for it. I just had it. I had it. I was not gonna have it, and I destroyed it.
All right,
and it
guys.
ruined the whole franchise until DMC came in and revived it.
Stop! No, DMC did not revive it. Stop,
dude. Don't even be.
Stop.
Don't be in the camp. You know that DMC is a good game.
Stop.
It might not be your favorite, whatever, but you know that it's a fucking amazing.
I'm not gonna get into it. I'm not gonna get into it.
It's true.
All right.
You might be like, oh, this fucking Dante, and I'll give you that, but it is fucking awesome. That game is amazing. You fight Fox News on that game, and I fucking love it just for that.
Whatever.
You know this is true.
All right, guys. Thank you for sticking this far into the episode. Hopefully, you actually get to hear my voice if you actually stay stick this long into the episode. Remember to go to goodgame.rocks and join our merry band of misfit gamers. All right. Mad Dog, any last words?
No, just I can't wait for you guys to really dive into Final Fantasy VII because I can't wait. I said it earlier. I said it. I feel like a kid again. I feel like I want to have my little snack and something and pull up in front of the TV and just sit and play this game until forever.
All right.
And I know it's a lot more nostalgia that's really hitting me, but still, it's actually really good.
I mean, it's still an amazing game. No, anyways, Dream, please take us home.
I am not gonna sit here and listen to you guys defend the original Dante from
Devil
May Cry.
Jesus Christ, let it go.
Neither one of you
DMC can suck my balls.
Neither one of you gave it a go when Devil May Cry 5 came out. An amazing title. And what happened? Neither one of you played it.
Listen, life didn't allow me to get it, but I do own it, and I have to finish it. I have God of War and Final Fantasy VII on my plate right now. That takes precedent, hands down.
Well, I'm going to tell you, do not let this pass down because that game is amazing. And Mad Dog, if I realize it's too late for you, but if you find it on a good deal, don't let it pass up. If you guys are so in love with this Dante, because I feel like you will really fucking like this game.
Are you done ranting about DMC?
Dude, shut the fuck up. Let's wrap us up.
All right, guys. Thank you. See you all next week. GG!